Part of growing up in Texas is playing football. And perhaps the greatest thrill a football player can have is winning the Texas High School State Championship. This little part of the world we live in has a bit of grandeur to it. Playing for your school and representing your community has a unique pride that only a Texan would understand. As the players strap on their helmets and buckle up, some will soon realize this dream. I'm Ken Hall, the Sugar Land Express. The Texas High School Football Championships are coming up next.
We welcome you to AT&T Stadium in Arlington for the Class 5A Division II State High School Football Championship of Texas, presented by State Farm. 9 of the 10 games this weekend have already been contested. There are 9 brand new state champions, but there's one game left to determine one final state champion. It matches the unbeaten Katy Tigers against the Cedar Hill Longhorns in a rematch of last year's state championship game. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Way. Glad to have you with us and happy to have Shea Walker alongside for this final game. It is the last game of the year in the state of Texas. Katy and Cedar Hill, they just played this record a year ago, right?
Well, they do. It feels like the same song, second verse here for the D2 state championship. And both teams, Craig, really playing well at this point in the season.
Well, Katy is looking not only to win a state title and to make it back-to-back. The Tigers are trying to achieve their piece of history. You see, a win for Katy would tie them with South Lake Carroll and Salina for the most state championships all time in the state of Texas. If they win that, they would have 8 state titles. Well, to get there, Katy all season long has been led by its ground game, and it's a two-headed monster.
Well, it is, and you look at Rodney Anderson and Kyle Porter's productivity. Rodney Anderson, only a junior, Kyle Porter, a sophomore, but these two guys, Craig, you see it close to 4,000 yards, 55 touchdowns between them, and when Rodney Anderson went down with an injury and missed a couple of games, Kyle Porter stepped up and played huge for the Tigers.
Well, the Cedar Hill Longhorns have had an impressive road to the finals, and Cedar Hill had dropped a couple of games earlier, but in the postseason, the Longhorns got past a close by-district test from Temple and then turned it on from there and then held off Lake Travis with 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to advance to the state championship round. And they have a lot of weapons. Chief among those, their outstanding wide receiver, DeMarcus Lodge.
And one of the most amazing things, you can look at the numbers there, and they're very impressive. But what's more impressive, Desmond Briscoe, a Cedar Hill Longhorn, went on to Kansas and did great things there. Quincy Adeboyo playing at Ole Miss, Laquiviante Gonzalez playing at Texas A&M. All these guys, and we talked to Coach McGuire in the week, he said, those are great receivers, he said, but I believe this could be the best one I've ever had.
Weapons, explosive players, the 5A Division II State Football Championship. The kickoff coming up next on Fox Sports Southwest.
Monday.
A few moments ago, down in the locker room, Joey McGuire, the head coach of the Longhorns, talking to his group.
You got to be an uncommon man today that your brothers mean more than you do. Sir. That sideline has got to be yelling and going crazy. I should see towels everywhere. If you're not on the field, you're yelling for your brothers. Yes, sir. You got to be uncommon, because if you think about yourself, you're going to miss the opportunity. It ain't about me. It ain't about you. It's about us. It's about us. That's what it is. It's about us. And we got to care about us. We got to love each other. We got to care about us. Touch the Longhorn and listen to my voice.
And they'll take that care right to the field and to receive the opening kickoff from Manny Mendoza. Katy won the toss, elected to defer the option to the second half, so we're ready to go. Final game of the year in the state of Texas in high school football. It's the 5A Division II State Football Championship. Happy you're with us. Happy holidays. And here we go from Arlington. Mendoza, the pop-up kick, and a fair catch called for and made at the 26-yard line by Caleb Ray. So Cedar Hill will start, and Justin McMillan will lead them out offensively. McMillan been very efficient this year at quarterback. And of course, he's got explosive weapons at receiver and also in the backfield. But McMillan will start it off for the Longhorns.
Yeah, Craig, and talking about the quarterbacks that have come through here, and Joe McGuire was almost unabashedly apologizing for saying, hey, I think these guys are really, really good. But think about Dreyfus Jackson, who played quarterback here, and certainly one of those guys where you say, okay, is Justin McMillan that good? He goes, oh, yeah, I think so.
And he'll get a test right here, the junior quarterback. Operating from an empty set to start it off. From the 25, the first offensive play coming from Cedar Hill. And the left-handed McMillan fires immediately into the slot for Larry Hill out of the backfield. Hill has rushed for over 1,000 yards this season, but he takes that pass and takes it for 9 yards. We look at our forward starting lineup for the Longhorns: Randy Christian, Corliss Johnson, Timus Bonner, Desmond Duncan, and Gerard Branch, your offensive front. Larry Hill, the man who just caught the pass. Mason Rizika, DeMarcus Lodge among the backs and receivers. Cedar Hill moving quickly in another pass. This one out in front, out of the 37-yard line, enough for a first down to the aforementioned DeMarcus Lodge. So Lodge with the catch and the first down for Cedar Hill.
Yeah,
that'll help settle those butterflies, won't it, Jay?
Oh, certainly will, Randy, in this game, too. And we talked about the emotion. And really, for Joey McGuire, one of the things he said, the difference in this game this year versus last year is that the Longhorns come in healthy. They lost Jalen Rayford, their star running back. Larry Hill wasn't able to play in this game last year. This year, relatively healthy.
Back to the air. This catch made outside, and another medium range gain as that one goes to sophomore Kirk Johnson. We'll take the forward starting lineup for the Katy Tigers defensively. Cody Gessler, Jesse Brown, and Tim Wilkerson, the down linemen. The linebacking core in the 3-4 set: Jason Ellis, Jake Blomstrom, Patty Fisher, and Tanner Ebrecht. And in the secondary, Giovanni Stewart, Colin Wilder back there defensively, Travis Willock, and Josh Blair. Second down after the gain of 5 yards. The pass to Stewart. And McMillan will throw again. This one to Denver Daniels out of the backfield. That's a gain of 3 yards, brings up third down and 2. Blomstrom the tackle for Katy. So it's been 4 plays. It's been a total of 5 plays and a total of 5 passes so far.
I was just going to say, or Craig, excuse me, that these guys for Cedar Hill, I mean, the defense by Katy is not bad, but they're just kind of dinking and dunking and getting those safeties to come up, and effectively so far moving the chains. On third down,
there's the first running play, and bouncing for the first down is Cedric Ware. Aka Cedric Ware, his full name, ACA hyphen and then CEDRIC, but Joey McGuire says you can just call him Cedric. Cedric Ware, the juniors rushed for 1,158 yards coming in, has the first down.
Well, that was just a power run, and Fisher coming up, doing a good job of keeping Ware in front of him. But he did pick up enough for the first down.
Another first down for the Longhorns. Cedar Hill's opening possession, the first drive for either team in this football game, just underway. Motion look, and around the corner is Denver Daniels. There goes Daniels. Finally brought down well into Katy territory, all the way down to the 25-yard line. Colin Wilder, the sophomore free safety, brought him down, but not before Daniels picked up 27.
Kind of a little crafty play right there. You line up on that wide side, and Daniels does a good job of taking that inside handoff. Good speed around the corner, around the edge. Picks up big yards.
From the Tiger 25, McMillan checking with the sideline after first having the team to line an empty set with 5 wide receivers and no running backs. First and 10 from the Katy 25. McMillan with the pump and now being flushed out. Nobody really there, and he's going to lose yardage. That's the pursuit of that Katy Tiger defense. Patty Fisher, sophomore linebacker, inside, dropped him for a loss of 2.
You know, Craig, you see Justin McMillan, he kind of pump fakes and then rolls out. It looks like a design play, but once he gets out there, that Katy defense, as you said, contained him very well disciplined, staying at home, making sure they're not going to allow him to break containment.
Second down and 12, and before things can get going, Cedar Hill would like a timeout to talk about things.
Timeout. Cedar Hill, first charge timeout of the half.
And coming from our referee in this final game of the season, Larry Clemens, the referee, umpire, Jim Gyral, the linesman Lance Mathis, Buddy Furquan is the line judge, Odell McGee the back judge, the alternate Larry Brown of this Tyler-based officiating chapter. Gary Joseph, what a job he's done in his 10 years as the head coach, but you think of all the years under the immortal Mike Johnston in the state championships won under Johnston, and he's carved his own niche.
Well, he certainly has, and what just a fantastic job year in, year out. You know what you're going to get from the Katy Tigers. Yeah, there's no surprises about it, but yet they continue to do it. They're on their quest now for, as you said earlier, for their eighth state championship. But really, Gary Joseph, the consistency that he has provided and carried on that legacy for Mike Johnson.
And also the legacy of his dad, Eddie Joseph, a former outstanding coach, and for many, many years, the executive director of the Texas High School Football Association, Coaches Association, Texas High School Football Coaches Association. Eddie and his wife Mary, two of the nicest people you will ever meet.
And some of the biggest fans of high school football bet there is.
No doubt about it. Out of the timeout, it's 2nd down and 12 from the 27. And McMillan again from the empty set. With time and space, he'll use the space. Turn in the corner, picks up yardage before being forced out of bounds by Kyle Bowling, senior linebacker. Gain of 9, nearly picking up the first down. 3rd and a yard needed.
Craig, how about the pump fake on Patty Fisher? Got him off the ground, used that athleticism once Fisher goes up. McMillan wisely accelerates around the edge, picks up those yards.
3rd down and 1. In the backfield, Aaron Houston, the senior halfback. And the running back is Cedric Ware. 3rd down, McMillan will hand it to Ware. On a bounce outside, it's not there. And he'll lose yardage. Patty Fisher drops it for a loss of 3 with help from Travis Willock.
Well, and the pressure up front by that Katy defensive line forces the running back out wide, and then nothing doing. Patty Fisher comes up, lays another big hit. See there, that penetration. It's number 93 who gets it. It's Cody Gessler.
So Brooks Ralph, the junior, will come on to try a 38-yard field goal. Ralph has converted 4 field goals this season. Has the leg. Does he have the accuracy? That kick is good. An opening drive results in points for Cedar Hill. Longhorns take a 3-0 lead on the Katy Tigers here in the 5A Division II State Football Championship. And now it'll be Katy's turn to get the ball. Coming up after the Cedar Hill opening drive of 54 yards and 10 plays, and it takes 3:38 off the clock. So a nice opening drive. And now it's time to see what the Cedar Hill defense can do against the Katy offense.
You know, Craig, the way that the Cedar Hill Longhorns drove down the field with those little dink and dunk passes, they got a couple of good runs in there, but that Katy defense really battened down the hatches when they needed to and came up with that big stop on 3rd down, forced the field goal, and kind of what you would expect to see. You know, Gary Joseph, as we talked about under Mike Johnson, he was a defensive coordinator, and you know he prides himself on defense. He's got to be proud of his team on keeping them out of the end zone.
Kickoff to come from Brooks Ralph. Returning for the Tigers will be Kyle Porter. You'll hear his name in the backfield a lot. And Tony Mullins back deep to receive it. The kick, and it will be Mullins 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he'll put down the knee. So Katy will go to work offensively. And Garrett Doran, their sophomore quarterback, will lead them onto the field. Took over about the 9th week of the season as the starting quarterback. You see what he's done. The numbers look kind of modest because he wasn't the starter until late in the season.
Yep.
But has managed the offense very well with this running attack.
He certainly has. Only a sophomore. Kylie Huddleston, the quarterback for Katy that led them to a state championship last year, got a little nicked up. Garrett Doran came in and has really taken over as that quarterback spot.
Here goes Rodney Anderson on 1st down. First play from scrimmage. And Anderson a stumble away from perhaps taking it 75 yards. He'll settle for a 24-yard carry. Jonathan Buffin, the senior strong safety, on the tackle.
Well, a good job again of Anderson. And this is what you would expect from a back who has his credentials, yardage, all the things that he's put up. Again, only a junior. Last year had about 800 yards rushing as a backup running back, but now as a starter, he has just been close to as unstoppable as I've seen in a long time.
Anderson remains the tailback out of the eye in the toss to Rodney Anderson. Picks up the block from his quarterback, Oren, and takes it inside the 35 and down to the 31-yard line. 20 more yards for Rodney Anderson. By the way, that'll take him over 1,800 rushing yards for the season. We look at the Ford starting lineup. On offense, Grant Sims, Clay Jenks, Brandon Dalton, Luke Spees, Logan Lister. The offensive front, Anderson will draw most of the carries. Kyle Porter will be in there at tailback as well. Kyle Williams, the fullback. Tony Mullins, Logan Addy, and Sloan Spiller are the receivers. 1st and 10, Katy on the move at the 31-yard line of Cedar Hill. Back to Anderson, slipped and fell, however. He's trying to avoid Jonathan Buffin, the strong safety who came over to drop him, as we take a look at the Ford starting lineup defensively for the Cedar Hill Longhorns. Start with the down lineman of Julian Shade, Zach Davis, and Xavier Washington, who's had a marvelous season. Richard Moore, great middle linebacker. Kyle Goss, Davion Dillard back there. Marcus Green, Jonathan Buffin, Tadarian Luster, and Darrell Miller in the secondary. Loss of 3, and it's 2nd down and 13. Anderson remaining the running back. Once more, he'll draw the carry. Hurdled past one tackler and close to regaining the original line of scrimmage of the 31, maybe about a half-yard shy of that. Kyle Goss, the junior outside linebacker, on the tackle for the Longhorns. Take a look at some of the popping that's going on early in this one. Well, listen.
Laying the leather, as they like to say. Aaron Carruthers, number 21, Craig, is the guy who got in there and blew that play up in the backfield. When you see those pulling guards and pulling tackles, you got to get inside of them, create a little havoc in the backfield, and it happened that time for the Longhorns.
Andy Coonrod is the receiver in motion for Katy on 3rd down, and yet it will be on the ground. Anderson not finding an alley. Going to be dropped for a loss of 3. Roy Epton, senior safety, on the tackle. And how about the Cedar Hill defense clamping down after giving up some runs to Anderson early?
Well, it's kind of looks almost like a mirror image of each other's drives so far, and I'm not sure if the Katy Tigers are going to attempt the field goal from here. It certainly doesn't look like it.
Offense staying on the field. It'll be 4th down and 13 needed from the 31. Kyle Porter is checked in at tailback, and Joey McGuire says, wait a minute.
Yep.
If that's going to be the case, we need to talk it over.
Timeout. Cedar Hill, their 2nd charge timeout of the half.
So 2 timeouts already called by the Longhorns in this 1st quarter. And 4th down coming up. But I think Joey looks at this situation and says, let's make sure we've got the right personnel on the field and lined up where they need to be if Gary Joseph indeed says we're going to go for it on 4th down.
Hey, Craig, if you think about it, that's probably exactly what Joey McGuire's thinking.
5:48 to go 1st quarter, a 3-0 lead for Cedar Hill. Event. Ford is the best in Texas. And by the new Wrangler Premium Performance Advanced Comfort Jeans, available at Cavenders and Cavenders.com. Well, Gary Joseph is seemingly determined to go for it on 4th down and 13. Cedar Hill took the timeout, but the Tigers are going to go for it here. 4th and 13, Kyle Porter in the backfield. And Garen Doran is going to throw for the first time. No, he won't. He'll go down. Huge defensive pressure. Xavier Washington leading the charge for the Longhorns, who take over at their own 48, a loss of 14.
Well, the guy with 22 sacks on the season, 6'3", 240 pounds, and you see him blow right past a couple of blockers. Doran, no chance to locate the receiver downfield. Xavier Washington just exploded at the snap. Comes up with a huge play for that Longhorn defense.
Cedar Hill takes over at its own 48. Larry Hill, the running back, lined up behind Justin McMillan. And the zone read keeper for McMillan, but he's in trouble and is fortunate to regain the line of scrimmage. Patty Fisher held on and brought him to the turf.
This defensive front for Katy, always a hallmark or a standard of the defense, if they are so aggressive on the edges and they play that three-man front and continue just to wreak havoc on offensive lines.
2nd down and 10 from the 48. And the pump, waiting on the double move is McMillan. Now pressure coming. A lot of it. And has to get rid of the football. And does. Throws it beyond the Katy bench. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10. Now Gary Joseph is complaining that McMillan was still in the pocket and had not gotten outside the tackle box. Not in the pocket, but it was still in the tackle box. But the officials do not see it that way.
He left the pocket, came back to the pocket, so that's what the officiating crew saw. Because he was well outside of it as he rolled to his left initially, reversed field to go back to the right, and then reverse back to the left and let go of the ball. That's great coverage downfield, though, by the Tiger secondary.
It is 3rd down and 10. The down marker says 2nd, but it is 3rd down and 10. And the pass over the middle is going to be short of the 1st down. A gain of 7. DeMarcus Lodge elevating or make the catch, but it is now 4th down and 3 for Cedar Hill.
Watch the catch here by Lodge, and then Travis Willock doing a great job of making sure that he was not going to pick up any yards after catch. Comes up off that safety spot with a great solid open field tackle.
Cedar Hill will send out the punting unit. For whatever reason, the scoreboard and down marker, now they've changed the down marker to 4th down.
You weren't thinking Colorado, were you?
Cedar Hill wasn't. They knew what the down was. It is 4th down. Colin Wilder back deep to receive. Now a flag goes down, and this could be for a delay.
Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
I'm not so sure that's really going to hurt the Longhorns for what they're trying to do here, knowing that they're going to punt the ball away. Gives them just a tad bit more room.
Josh Stewart will punt it. Becomes 4th down and 8. Rodney Anderson, Colin Wilder back deep to receive it. Anderson deeper than Wilder. Here's the kick. Line drive shot. It gets away from Anderson. It'll roll into the end zone on the touchback. Length on that punt was 50 yards, a 30-yard net, downing the touchback. So Katy back to work and from its own 20-yard line. And the Tigers moved the ball on the ground well, all the way across midfield, and then hit a wall afterwards.
Well, and they did it really, Craig, in huge chunks with Rodney Anderson ripping off 20-plus yard runs on consecutive carries.
So Katy will have it. And you see that winning streak of 31 straight, the longest active in the state of Texas. We asked Gary Joseph, we were double checking that the other day and said, 31 for you, right? And he goes, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, wait a minute. We won 16 last year. We won 50. Yeah, okay, 31.
Yeah. I see 16. Okay.
He doesn't think about the accumulate. He thinks about the here and now.
Yeah.
Kyle Porter, the here and now to receive the carry. And he's across the 25 to the 26-yard line for a pickup of 6. Aaron Crathers, the outside linebacker, and Jonathan Buff, the strong safety on the tackle. 3rd member of our team down on the sidelines is our Jim Knox. Jim?
I appreciate it, Craig. This is going to be a great matchup, particularly the Katy defense, the secondary, Joshua Blair, Travis Wilcock. They're going to have a tough assignment of trying to knock down DeMarcus Lodge. They did a great job. I talked to Joshua before the game, as well as Travis. They said, look, we can't intimidate him. We can't talk about him. What we're going to do is just try to intimidate him if we can by hitting. And you saw Travis Wilcock develop and also delivered that big blow against DeMarcus in that previous series, correct?
All right, thanks, Jim. We just saw Xavier Washington put a hit on Kyle Porter. Porter wound up picking up only a yard. And now it's 3rd down and 3 for the Tigers.
And how quick was Washington? He ran Porter down on that little side angle and drug him down from behind.
It is Porter's turn again to get the carry. He has it, and a 1st down. And it was fortunate for Cedar Hill that Tadarian Luster wrapped him up. Otherwise, the 7-yard gain would have been much more than that.
And Kyle Porter, 5'9", 185-pound sophomore. Just you look at just a brief comparison so far in this game, Craig, and it looks like Porter is maybe more of a little bit of a scattier dash back than Rodney Anderson, and that just really, you go, holy smoke, if he's the guy that's a scat back, and then you've got the power back coming downhill at you on a lot of plays there.
From the 34-yard line on first down, trying to go back on the counter the other way, but Cedar Hill would have none of it. They were looking for it all the way, and Julian Shade, the senior defensive end, turned it into a 2-yard loss. Crather's helping out as well, as there just was no room to run for Anderson at all.
Well, the Longhorn defense getting penetration in the backfield. You think about, again, that it seems like we talk about all the offensive fireworks that would be expected, big playmakers. Defenses so far in this game are kind of setting a tone.
Second down and 12. And wraparound draw, and that does not work. Keontae Jones wraps up Kyle Porter for a loss of 4. And the defense is continuing for the early stages to carry the day.
Well, these negative plays just keep adding up on both sides for both offenses. Defensively, Keontae Jones, and he rotates through that front 3. He'll play nose guard. You see him at tackle at times. A very valuable player for the Cedar Hill Longhorns, but very quick off the ball.
Third down and 15 needed. Doran with pressure coming, hit as he throws. Incomplete, nearly intercepted. As Xavier Washington tried to come in and hit him hard, it's incomplete and it's 4th down.
Well, look at the speed off the edge right here. There's Xavier Washington on that stand-up in. And just a punishing hit to Doran, which forced the the bad throw. Almost an interception there, but defensively again, Cedar Hill asserting themselves and getting deep in the backfield, and they should come away, Craig, with a decent field position here.
Devin McFarland, the senior, averages a little over 33 yards per punt with a good one this time. It will roll to the 36-yard line. Right a little above his average at 35, but unreturnable. And that's where Cedar Hill will take it. 48 seconds to go first quarter. Cedar Hill with a 3-0 lead on Katy. And right now, a special message from State Farm.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
My legs, sometimes I'll go numb.
Double vision. They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Well, the beginning is the hardest time.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was a dancer. I don't see walking the way I walk any different than doing a dance. It just looks different. It's a different dance.
You see me have an off day, it doesn't take away from who I am.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
But I would exercise every day.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
To make a lot of changes in my life and just adapt to it.
I'm going to acknowledge its presence. I'm not going to discount it. But at the same time, I'm going to try my best to not let it stop me.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
Cedar Hill leads Katy 3-0. Final minute of the first quarter here. The most impressive thing so far, Shea Walker, has been the Cedar Hill defense. Adjusting early after some Rodney Anderson runs cross midfield, but then they got pressure in on Garrett Doran, stuffed the run as well, and now Cedar Hill will get the football back.
Well, they really have kind of turned it around. Those first 2 or 3 plays by the Katy Tigers just gashed that defense for big yards. All of a sudden, they made an adjustment or 2, and now Cedar Hill defensively is playing toe-to-toe with this Tiger offense.
A carry to Ware. Cedric Ware slipping through for a gain of 4 out to the 40-yard line. Jason Ellis, the senior outside linebacker, on the tackle for Katy.
Well, and as we talked to Coach McGuire, Craig, it's not uncommon. We're going to see 4 running backs at least for the Cedar Hill Longhorn team getting carries and getting significant carries, and it's just as the field goes, that's who's going to be in the game.
Longhorns spread the field with 5 wide receivers and no running backs, although Denver Daniels, a running back, that's the man in motion right there, and he'll draw the carry. Coming around the corner, and the cutback won't work. He'll lose a couple. Tanner Ebrecht, Jason Ellis, the 2 outside linebackers for Katy, pinched in on Denver Daniels for the loss. And we come to the end of the first quarter. 5A Division II State Football Championship at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. A 3-0 lead for Cedar Hill. T&T Stadium in Arlington here for the second quarter of the 5A Division II State High School Football Championship. Craig Way, Shade Walker upstairs. Down on the sidelines, Jim Knox and our Angela Heyman. Angela?
Thanks, Craig. Well, we've heard about Katy's tandem running backs of Anderson and Porter, but Cedar Hill has 4 running backs that are outstanding as well. That's Larry Hill, Cedric Ware, Peter Lewis, and Denbray Daniels. Earlier in the season, they nicknamed themselves the committee. Coach McGuire told me that as soon as they did that, that's when they learned it wasn't about the individual, it was about the team, and the offense clicked. They believe that no team can tackle all 4 of them for 4 quarters, so they're going to try to hang with those running backs from Katy.
Well, certainly it keeps the guys fresh when the committee can rotate in and out. Thank you, Angela. We begin the second quarter with Cedar Hill facing a 3rd and 8 from its own 38-yard line. Larry Hill will be in the backfield right now with the quarterback, Justin McMillan. McMillan looking to throw. The sidelines off the hands of DeMarcus Lodge. Josh Blair had the coverage, but I'll bet you DeMarcus would tell you that's a catch he probably should have made.
That's a catch you would expect him to make. He's on the sideline. It's a nice throw out there by McMillan. Take a look right there. It's just, you know, looked like Craig, he kind of slowed down and almost came to a stop trying to manage the sideline, and the ball had a little bit too much juice on it as it carried out and not able to come up with the catch.
Josh Stewart to punt. The Longhorns, Rodney Anderson, Colin Wilder. Deep for Katy. A booming kick by Stewart over Anderson's head. Watch this thing go. All the way down to the 10-yard line. That'll be a total of 52 yards on the punt from Josh Stewart with no return. Look here at the sidelines. It could be a hazardous place.
It is a dangerous place to be on the sideline.
Oh.
Well, the trainer there, you see DeMarcus Lodge trying to soften the blow as he goes in. But, you know, we talked about that punt. And when we were talking to Coach McGuire earlier in the week, what he said was, it's not pretty, but it really is effective. As you saw it there, it was kind of like a knuckling, kind of a boomerang-looking punt. Not that pretty spiral that you're accustomed to seeing. But, man, did it work out well for the Cedar Hill Longhorns.
Maybe not pretty, but pretty good. Toss on to Anderson. Turning the corner. Good yardage on first down. He'll pick up 6 yards. Darrell Miller, Richard Moore team up on the stop.
But he just gets tripped up by Richard Moore coming off that linebacker spot. Just so impressive, these running backs, Porter and Anderson. Rodney Anderson averaging 160 yards a game. I believe he missed 4, maybe 5 games.
Second down and 4 for Katy. Back to the ground again. Anderson churning through, but that hole was plugged after a gain of only a yard to the 17 by Davion Dillard.
See number 75, Zach Davis, checking out. 6'6", 305-pound nose guard. Nicknamed the Big Country by Brian Reeves. Is that the guy?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he said he looks just like Coach McGuire said he looks just like him.
Gans, Oklahoma.
A little confusion here on the Longhorn defense.
Trying to make sure they got the right personnel on the field. They had only 10 for a while. Now they do get 11 on the field, and they do the job. Despite the confusion, the interior of the defense said, we got this. And Aaron Crather's the outside linebacker. Jonathan Buff and the strong safety teamed up. They make the tackle, and it's 4th down.
Well, Coach Joseph is hot at the officials because you really couldn't tell if Crather was on the field or off the field because he went on, he went off, he went on, he went off, and it ultimately went on, as you said, with only 10 guys. He just wasn't sure if he should stay on or not. Coach finally got to him, and he gets on the field late, but it's a big stop there by the Longhorn defense.
It is 4th down and a yard for Katy, so the Tigers come on the punt. Devin McFarland, his first punt traveled 35 yards, will punt again. Now Cedar Hill not yet dropping a man deep. They want to make sure that Katy's not going to fake this thing on 4th and a yard. So there's nobody back to receive it. So this thing is going to take a nice Katy bounce, and then it will kick back upfield, and it'll be down at the 39-yard line. So it's a 42-yard punt without a return. Cedar Hill will have it. Well, they played the field position game so far, Shea, but the game pretty much has been played between the 20s to this point.
Well, it has, and we talked about all the success that Cedar Hill had on that first drive, dinking and dunking down, and so far defenses are ruling the day.
Still 3-0 Cedar Hill. 3-0 Cedar Hill with the lead. Earlier today, State Farm gave 2 participants an opportunity to win up to $500 for their respective schools through the State Farm Kick to a Better State Challenge. First, it was Ernie Jordan of Cedar Hill, then Shaylee Ward with the form of a soccer player. She had soccer in her shorts, and the left footer knocks it right through to win $250 for her school. The State Farm Kick to a Better State Challenge. State Farm, proud presenting sponsor of the UIL State Championships. Cedar Hill football. Larry Hill in the backfield. And the official's not ready to get going. Well, now we want to make sure this Tyler Chapter. Set to go now. Millen will hand it to Hill, and off the left side, Hill lunges forward for a pickup of 2 yards. Tanner Ebrecht, the outside linebacker, on the tackle for Katy.
Well, Craig was a free safety last year on the championship team. They moved a little bit of that speed closer down to the line of scrimmage. He plays outside linebacker now, and he's already been in on a handful of plays so far in this game.
2nd down and 8. That's where the motion man, but it's back to Hill in the center of the line. Actually, P.J. Lewis that time, and Lewis on the carry is only able to pick up a yard. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, you can see this Cedar Hill offense trying to get into a little bit of a groove, going with some misdirection, have the guy flashing right across, and you hand it back. But that defense, very tough. Jesse Brown staying at home and not allowing very much running room at all for P.J. Lewis.
It is 3rd down and 7 for Cedar Hill. Hill was lined up to the right of McMillan. Where is the man in motion? McMillan under pressure. Able to escape one man, but had to throw the football away. Lodge was the closest man to it, but it's 4th down and another punt coming.
Well, Jake Blomstrom was putting big pressure on Justin McMillan. Take a look on the backside, and he just has a feel right here of how to elude, and he spins right away from it. It looked like for a while, Jason Ellis was going to close in on him as well and bring him down for a big sack.
So it brings up 4th down. Once more, Cedar Hill to punt. 3rd punt of this first half for Josh Stewart. Bobby Anderson, Colin Wilder, back deep to receive. Here's the kick. Now that's a much better form kick there by Stewart, but it is fielded at the 16-yard line by Anderson. Sweeping around the corner. Here goes Anderson up the sidelines. Say goodnight to it. Anderson brings it back the distance. But there is a flag now. It would be an 84-yard return. But let's check the flag. And in fact, the Cedar Hill coaches will say, come on back, fellas.
Yep.
We'll get the call here momentarily.
Well, they had the proverbial picket fence set up, and they did it really well, did the Katy Tigers. And it was right as Anderson was making his move to the sideline. Let's get the call.
Number 2 of the return team, 10-yard penalty, 1st down, Katy.
Larry Clemens, our referee. And Gary Joseph asking for some other explanation. Here's another look, Shane.
You see right there, the picket fence is set up very well. Hard to pick up where the hold came because the flag was already.
Yep, had already been thrown. And
back there.
Might even have been away from the play.
It was right at the apex when he was making that turn.
Please put 8:12 on the clock. 8:12.
Either way, the Katy Tigers will possess the ball just a little bit further back than where Rodney Anderson fielded the punt.
Joey McGuire knows his guys were able to dodge that bullet there due to the penalty. So Katy pinned deep in its own end of the field, and it's been difficult so far for the Tiger offense. Porter wrapped up. A good job to close the gap on him by Xavier Washington, holding Porter to a 40-yard carry.
Well, he is so quick, Greg. I mean, again, 6'3", 240 pounds, and he is cat-like quick.
Second down and 6 now for Katy from the 23. Cedar Hill scored on its opening drive, the field goal, and since then the teams have been playing punt and field position. Porter the tailback. And it is Porter. Went outside, back inside, it's not going to work. A loss of a couple.
A bevy of Longhorn defenders. Led by
Dillard.
And Luster as well. Right there on to make the stop, and we've got an injured player.
It's Richard Moore. And I'm not sure if he maybe lost his breath or something the way he's going right now, but the training staff on him at the moment. And it is Richard Moore, their junior linebacker, who has 114 tackles coming in. He's already had 2 or 3 in this first half. 27 tackles behind the line of scrimmage and 8 sacks this year. He has had a fantastic season.
Yes,
for Cedar Hill.
6'1", 205-pound junior. As you said, all of those stats and total tackles, he is the team leader in that category.
So some concern for him right now as the training staff will attend to Richard Moore. 7:22 to go first half. Cedar Hill with a 3-0 lead.
There's a family.
Richard Moore okay, and back on the sidelines, might only have had the wind knocked out of him. But he's on the sidelines, and now Katy facing a 3rd down and 8 from its own 21. Kyle Porter the tailback now, but Garrett Doran looking to throw. Nice catch made by Andy Coonrod, the senior, for a first down. Takes it up to the 34-yard line, a pickup of 13.
Greg, I like that motion by Andy Coonrod. He started out on the right side of the formation. He comes all the way across the field in motion, and I think the Cedar Longhorn defense just kind of lost him there for a second. Navigates the sideline well, picks up a first down.
Some more operating space now for Katy. First down since that opening drive that took them across midfield. Their first possession after the Cedar Hill field goal. Back to the ground, and Porter picks up a big block around the corner. In fact, too good a block. I think this one may be coming back for a hold. We saw a couple of Longhorns hit the turf. Kyle Williams, the fullback, may be the man who threw that block or grabbed a hold of a jersey.
Holding on the offense, number 43, 10-yard penalty, the first down.
And the spotter, Andy Way, had it pegged and said, yeah, it's 43 who had the hold, and so it'll be marched back 10 yards.
Well, you see the play right here as he gets around the edge. That's where the hold and the tackle happens. But I can tell you what, so far in this game, Craig, Kyle Williams has been a devastating lead blocker. It's just the speed of that Cedar Hill defense got around the edge on him, and you know what? He did probably what anybody else would do in that spot.
Grab a hold of something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's been, like I said, he's been a battering ram as a lead blocker early on in the game. That time he got called for the holding call, but hey, Coach Joseph, he won't have any problems with that.
See, Katy does prefer to keep it on the ground, although that one pass has worked. Back to the ground. And this one to the fullback, Williams. Some nice recovery yardage for Williams. Davion Dillard made the tackle. It's a gain of 8 for Williams. Second down and 12.
Well, and Richard Moore did check back in the game. Been in there for a couple of plays now, I think.
His accustomed inside linebacker position. On second down, the toss to Porter. Picked up a block, but then recovering defensively to Darian Luster, the junior free safety. He did manage to hold Porter to a 5-yard carry. So that now means 3rd down and 7 coming up.
And Kyle Porter is a extremely powerful back. And again, only a sophomore, 5'9", 180 pounds. And he got hit around the line of scrimmage by Luster. And he kind of carried that tackle for another 3 or 4 yards.
3rd and a long 7. Doran has completed the one pass he's attempted. And he'll look to throw again. But the pressure's coming. Managed to dump it, but Porter's going to be dumped for a loss. What pursuit by that Cedar Hill Longhorn defense. Davion Dillard came in. Xavier Washington bringing the heat once more on the quarterback, Garrett Doran.
He looks a little bit like LT as he lines up on the outside, Craig. He is going from the two-point stance as a defensive end, and he just completely speed rushes right by the left tackle, getting into Doran. Man, he has got some serious speed. And how about the pursuit by that Longhorn defense? After the play to Porter, the screen pass was successfully completed. But, man, there were a bevy of Longhorns all around the ball.
Another punt from McFarland. This one rolling back. Darius Williams says back off or just let it roll. And that happened.
Great Katy roll.
Oh, boy, does it ever. All the way down to the 16-yard line. That's a 52-yard punt. We'll go down to the sidelines and check in with Jim Knox.
All right, Craig, another big game. So look who's back. It's Cletus, the famous Fox robot. Also, of course, the Southwest Fox Southwest girls, Kami and Liddy. Cletus wears number 34 because his favorite player, the late, great Walter Payton. Now, Cletus also looks like Cedar Hill wide receiver DeMarcus Lodge, 6'3". You got some good hands, Cletus, huh? No good hands for Cletus. But not bad. You're looking good. Very good. Thanks, guys. We're going to hang out a little bit more on the Katy sideline.
Thanks very much, Jim. And here come the Longhorns, starting from their own 16. To the ground, Cedric Ware, and only a gain of a yard to the 17. Alan Wilder, the tackle. Now, Shay, we've talked about field position back and forth. This is the worst starting field position for either side, as Cedar Hill operates from its own 16. So it's probably incumbent upon the Longhorns to push it out a little bit even before they would have to punt as we reach the late stages of the first half.
Well, I mean, it certainly feels like, you know, we're not going to see a lot of offensive explosive plays yet in this game because these defenses are just teeing off on opposing offenses.
And off to Ware again as he surges forward to the 19. Longstrom, the tackle. And it's now third down coming up. Larry Hill will check back in, as will Denver Daniels. Daniels is a slot receiver. And Hill as the running back offset to the left side of Justin McMillan. On third down and 7. McMillan, a design run, turn in the corner, has the first down and more. McMillan into Katy territory, lost the football, and then picked up Denver Daniels to take it to the house. Just the way Joey McGuire drew it up.
Yeah, not a chance. But what a great play initially by Justin McMillan on a very important third down as he breaks it. It's a design run, Craig, the entire way as he breaks it downfield. He's up the sideline. He's got the ball on the inside. He's a lefty, but he needs to put it on the outside, but it gets stripped away from him.
Colin Wilder.
Wilder made the strip, and then again it's picked up by Denver Daniels, and he lugs it in. Gets tripped up, but he does get across the end line.
The totality of the play was 81 yards. Here's the extra point. It's good by Brooks Ralph, and is now a 10-0 Cedar Hill lead.
Well, a little unconventional there on that play. Again, a huge third down run by Justin McMillan. But then he loses the ball, clearly stripped out by Colin Wilder.
I want to say he lost it around the 42-yard line of Katy, which would mean it'd be, well, we get a better look at it here up the sideline. And yeah, right at, well, maybe about the 40 as you see him.
You see, you carry that ball on that inside arm, though. That's what gives the defenders an opportunity to use all your momentum against you and strip it out. The heads-up play there by Wilder. Unfortunately for the Katy Tigers, or fortunately for the Cedar Hill Longhorns, Denver Daniels is right there to scoop it up and take it in.
Daniels actually scooped it up at the 38-yard line because the ball came out at the 42, but it hit one of the Katy Tigers and bounced forward a couple more yards to the 38, and that's where Daniels scooped it up and on the run managed to take it in to the end zone. So it's a 10-0 lead in the short kickoff going to Wilder, the man who stripped the football. But a fortuitous bounce works for Cedar Hill, and all of a sudden, Katy finds itself down by its largest deficit of the season, 10 points. Get another look at this, Shay, and see where he loses the ball, like right around the 42 there. You'll see it come out right there, and then it hits one of the Tigers, I believe Travis Giovanni Stewart, scooped up by Daniels, who I think took it the remaining 38 yards or so to the end zone. Tiger ball from the 31. Anderson, the running back, but it goes to the fullback, Kyle Williams. Williams for a pickup of 3 on the play, and Deontay Jones, the tackle for Cedar Hill.
Kyle Williams checks out of the game. Kyle Porter checks in.
Porter lines up in the offset position, the offset eye, and that's Rodney Anderson there. The tailback, Porter, the shifting motion back, but it goes to Anderson. First down and breaking free. Anderson inside the 20, and he'll score. 66 yards for Rodney Anderson. And that is how quickly Katy can flip a football game.
I think it's great blocking by Grant Sims, Clay Jinks, Brandon Dalton also getting in there on that left side of the line, Craig. And when you see him break that line, he also got a block from Kyle Porter, who came in motion, led him through the hole. And then he breaks it back to the right, more toward the center of the field, and then just turns on the Jets.
Manny Mendoza. The extra point is good. So the 10-0 lead for Cedar Hill does not last long, as Katy needs just a couple of plays to get on the scoreboard and pull to within 3.
Well, you see, once he got to the second level, just the burst and the speed, vision there by Rodney Anderson. That's impressive.
Well, Katy bouncing right back into this football game. Cedar Hill had the momentum, and Fedarian Luster there getting some encouragement. Anderson getting some refreshment.
You take a look at Anderson. He's going to run right up the back of one of his blockers, but he used that so well to kind of keep some of those other Cedar Hill defenders away from him, and he ran it just to the very last second where he ran over, right up the back of one of his blockers, and then he breaks it back to the right-hand side, which is more toward the middle of the field, and then just shows that explosive speed. This combination of Anderson and Porter, again, we talk about this, Greg, and knowing that Anderson's only played, I think, 10 of the 15 games so far, but 55 touchdowns between the two guys.
115 yards rushing in the first half. Short kickoff. And that's Denver Daniels, who had scored the touchdown for Cedar Hill, scooping up the fumble. And it's good field position for the Longhorns. Hey, coming up in the half, the Ford halftime show, yeah, you'll see coverage of both of the bands, and it's a high school football tradition. If you're playing on state championship weekend, chances are you're going to don the Santa hats, have a little Christmas music there. We're also going to visit with Governor Rick Perry, who's here to present awards and the trophies. We'll have first half highlights and stats. It's all coming up on our Ford halftime show.
Star-studded event at halftime. We do some studio work. Rick Renner still working?
That's why it's star-studded.
That's what I was thinking. And the headliner of that. Oh no, I don't know if we have the services.
We will have him. We will have him for a high school scoreboard live. I'll join him as we have all season long. Brought to scoreboard live. We'll do that following the game tonight. First down pass, that going to Daniels with a catch out to the 36. A pickup of 4. Travis Willock, the tackle for Katy.
You know, one thing, Craig, that you see with this Cedar Hill offense is that they get the ball out to their receivers, the slot receivers, pretty quickly. The impressive thing is how fast these Katy defenders are closing in on them. And you're thinking, say, hey, if they're closing that fast, and that's an opportunity for a pump fake and get somebody out deep. But I tell you, this Tiger defense so far, very disciplined.
Larry Hill, the running back now. Flag goes down. Hill draws the carry, and doesn't look like there's any gain on the play at all. It would be 3rd down and 6, but will check the flag.
Offsides on the defense, number 93. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, it's called on Cody Gessler. Rare for the Katy Tigers to draw penalties in the game. They usually stay away from those.
He checks out. Matt Leiter checks in. 6'3", 215-pound senior, excuse me. The Tigers just like to rotate those front 3 or 4 guys, keep them fresh.
3rd and a yard, and bouncing outside. Hill still on his feet. He's got a first down, lost the football on the 45, down to the 44-yard line. They're still separating the two sides. Right when Hill was about to hit the turf, the ball came loose. Katy saying they've got it.
So is Cedar Hill.
Yeah.
Both guys. And the Tigers.
It is Katy football. Jake Blomstrom. A turnover will give it back as Larry Hill lost it.
So he's fighting for extra yards after gaining enough, I believe, Craig, initially for the first down. Getting that ball on the inside, and you see as he fights that first arm tackle, the strip comes right there. It looks like it was Blomstrom who stripped it, or maybe that was 42, Patty Fisher, I think, who got the strip. The rest of the Tiger defenders come on and make the recovery.
Well, 2:16 is certainly time enough for the Tigers to score. Porter, the tailback now for Katy, and Anderson, the motion back. Back to pass, wide open, Coonrod takes it in. That's actually Sloan Spiller. Spiller crossing over past Coonrod and takes it 44 yards for the touchdown.
I think he said there was enough time for the Katy offense to get going, but how about Sloan Spiller? Only 15 catches on the year, 4 of them for touchdowns. Makes another huge play for the Tiger offense. A play action pass, and it's what the Katy Tigers do so incredibly well. And when you've got Rodney Anderson in the game on the wing, and you've also got Kyle Porter in the backfield, brings that defense up, and Sloan Spiller did a good job of getting behind the defenders.
Extra point kick is good by Mendoza. Sloan Spiller's 5th touchdown of the season has given Katy its first lead. Have they come back in a hurry?
The defender's just not able to catch up. That was Luster trailing, but again, the play action pass. And Katy runs it so devastatingly well against most defenses.
Sloan Spiller, the senior. That's his 17th catch of the season.
Last year, Craig, Logan Lister was the tight end on this Katy Tiger team. He's now moved into the offensive line, and I was thinking, you're taking this skill position guy, moving him into the offensive line, and I was reminded of Eric Winston, tight end for Midland League. And remember how dominant he was on those Cedric Benson teams when they won a state, actually 3 in a row state championships.
It's a great comparison.
Eric Winston goes to the University of Miami. He's not a tight end. He becomes an offensive lineman and becomes an outstanding pro and had a great career.
Gary Joseph seen his team just turn it back around. He's always the model of just calm, cool collectiveness.
Well, he is a proverbial duck, though. You know that's the case. He looks calm on the outside, but he's so competitive and so fiery on the inside.
There's the kickoff and fielded by Darius Williams. Dropped. And Williams in some trouble. And they'll go down around the 10-yard line. Well, let's get some reports on both sidelines. First, from Jim Knox on the Katy sideline.
All right, Craig, I tell you what, after Spiller's touchdown, this sideline erupted. Momentum has definitely switched right over here to Katy's sideline, and it all started when they were down 10-0. Coaches came over to the bench and say, stay positive. They stayed positive, and now it looks like they could be going into halftime with the lead. More on Cedar Hill. Let's head over to Angela. Angela?
Thanks, Jim. Well, I'm sure you remember Cedar Hill coach Joey McGuire telling us earlier in the week that the scariest thing to him about this Katy offense was their passing game. Because their running game is so good, they'll hit a deep pass on you at some point, and your defensive backs will be asleep because they're focusing on the run game. That's exactly what just happened on that last touchdown.
All right, Angela, thanks. Here's Cedric Ware turning it outside and out of bounds. At the 21-yard line is Ware. Josh Blair makes the tackle, but Ware manages to pick up a first down as he'll cross the 20 to the 21, a gain of 11.
You know, that tackle by Josh Blair, Craig, on the sideline, but look at all the running room that's out there. Blair doesn't make that play there. I mean, the sidelines are available, and it doesn't look like much. It was a first down run by Cedar Hill, but Blair taking. Uh-oh, here's a big gain here.
It's Ware outside. Cedric Ware still on his feet. And inside the Katy 30, he'll take it to the Tiger 27. A 52-yard rumble for Cedric Ware, the senior, before he's finally wrapped up by Patty Fisher.
Averages 9.5 yards a carry, over 1,100 yards on the season. And you remember Angela talking about the committee. Seen Larry Hill.
Timeout. Katy, their first charge time out of the half.
Yeah, you can see these Cedar Hill Longhorns fired up right now, thinking they've got the Katy Tigers a little tired out defensively. And Cedric Ware, that was a huge run for him.
Now all of a sudden their leading ground gainer with 69 yards, but they have 65 from Daniels. These numbers are going to wind up being pretty close when the half is said and done, just like the score is right now. But certainly the Longhorns are thinking about getting points and getting back in front before the intermission.
And this has all of the feel of a heavyweight fight. You know, you got a round where you're playing defense. You play a little bit of defense, and then you got a round where you're going to expend some punches and expend some energy, and you get some offense going. But both of these guys on the ground, and certainly on the ground game, and it's not been the passing game really for either team other than Katy hitting that long pass to Spiller on the play-action pass, but that was set up by the run. And I mean, you get the ebb and the flow of this game, and it's been tremendous so far in the first half.
Just like Angela Heyman was talking about a few moments ago, that Joey McGuire, and he said that to us early in the week, the biggest concern he had was being able for Katy to hit those over-the-top passes. You don't think of it that much because coming into the game, Doran had only thrown 7 touchdown passes. And again, he didn't take over the starting duties until the ninth week of the season. But even Kylie Huddleston had only thrown 11 through 8 weeks going into week 9.
It's not who they are, but they have. When you just think about how difficult it is on a defense when you put Porter and Anderson in the backfield at the same time.
Well, now Cedar Hill countering and doing it on the ground. Inside the 25 is P.J. Lewis. And we're now really seeing the committee at work, Shea. We've seen Larry Hill carry the ball. Denver Daniels, of course, scooped up the fumble, took it in. Cedric Ware with a 52-yard run. And P.J. Lewis has had a couple of carries.
Well, you had referenced this earlier, but I mean, you don't really think about having running backs and maintaining fresh legs, but these guys do it so incredibly well and are so unselfish as a group, which makes them much more effective.
2nd down and 7 for Cedar Hill. McMillan getting the relay in on the sideline. Cedric Ware, P.J. Lewis. And in the backfield it goes to Lewis. He lost the football. Picked up by Giovanni Stewart. Only McMillan to beat. And he will. 77 yards on the return by Giovanni Stewart.
Greg, I believe that is the 3rd fumble that we have seen by Cedar Hill, and these are coming by strips and hard hits. I mean, you got to protect the ball. Giovanni Stewart, another one of those sophomores, this Katy Tiger team, and it's funny to hear Gary Joseph talk about this being a young team, but it's true. Take a look here.
Yep, just lost it. It popped right into the arms. You talk about Johnny on the spot or Giovanni on the spot as it went right into his arms.
Well, Jake Blomstrom has had a fantastic first half. Comes up with the hit there, separates the running back from the ball, and Giovanni Stewart takes it to the house, 77 yards. And right when it felt like Cedar Hill, after those two consecutive carries by Cedric Ware that got him way down here, Katy called a timeout. They come back now with the big play. They get the turnover, and it goes for a touchdown.
Well, you bring up a good point. And first of all, the extra point is there and put in by Mendoza. The point being, that's what Katy does to you. And they've done this time and time again during the course of the season. And you could look down their list of the regular season wins, and by and large, they blew out teams. Now, they had a tight squeeze with 7 Lakes. They won that one by 5. But by and large, they handled everybody throughout the course of the season. And when a team would think it might have some momentum going, all of a sudden, bam, bam, 2, 3 big plays. They look up all of a sudden. Here was Cedar Hill. They were up double digits. Now they're down double digits, and it's happened in less than a quarter.
Kind of just like that, and very in decisive action, too, offensively and defensively. I mean, in championship game, in any game, but certainly in championship games, if you can get a defensive score, well, that really puts you ahead of the curve.
And I'm sure Joey McGuire's thinking, you know, if they hadn't had a couple of big carries on 1st and 2nd down when they were deep in their own end of the field, they might have run out the clock.
Oh, absolutely.
Gone to the locker room down 4, but got a couple of big carries, and of course the huge carry, run of 52 yards for Ware, and they were thinking about reclaiming the lead until the turnover. Short kick, and from the 24-yard line, across the 30 and 35, and that's Jalen Jackson, a freshman, who's out there to return it. So now Cedar Hill will have it again with 41 seconds to go in the half.
I tell you right now, for my money, I'm thinking DeMarcus Lodge has got to step up for the Cedar Hill team. He's really not been that involved in the offense so far. A lot of that has to do with the effectiveness of that Tiger defense being able to hang some safeties back because they're getting such good pressure with that front 3, front 4. But DeMarcus Lodge, with this 41 seconds left in the game, decent field position. You kind of expect to see if the Cedar Hill Longhorns are ready to take a shot downfield.
Well, McMillan looks to throw, had to escape pressure and can't.
He lost the
football, and I think the Longhorns got back on it. There is a scramble. It looked like Devin Murdoch, wide receiver, might have fallen on it, and he did.
Well, that's a heart stopper if you're a Cedar Hill Longhorn fan. They are not protecting the ball very well. That's the 4th, if not the 5th fumble so far in this first half.
They've lost 2 critical ones, and I think Joey McGuire's going to say, let's just get this to the locker room and regroup a little bit. That's going to be it. As Katy, with 21 unanswered points in less than a quarter, goes from a 10-0 deficit to a 21-10 halftime lead in the 5A Division II State Football Championship. 21-10, the Tigers with the lead at intermission, and with Tigers head coach Kerry Joseph is our Jim Knox.
I appreciate it, Craig. Coach, I tell you what, you guys got down early by 10 points on the sidelines. The battle cry was stay positive. You guys stayed positive. Got some turnovers, capitalize on that. What's going through your mind going to the break?
Well, we got to go in here and do a great job to start second half with the football, and we got to move the football. And like I said, they've got a very explosive football team, obviously, but we're going to have to do a good job of keep tackling and tackle through them.
What will you tell your team right now at halftime?
Tell them it's a 48-minute game. We got 24 to go.
I appreciate it, Coach. Halftime here at AT&T Stadium with Katy coming from behind, leading at the break 21-10. Stay with us.
Ford halftime show continues from here in Arlington. Everybody's working hard tonight, including that drum line there with a bit of holiday cheer. Cedar Hill had a 10-0 lead, and all of a sudden things turned around quickly. Let's find out what Joey McGuire said to his team. Go down to the sidelines to Angela Heyman.
Thanks, Craig. Yes, Coach McGuire, turnovers were the difference in the first half. How did you address that at halftime?
Well, we've been here before. We were like this with Temple. We got down 28-7, and it was all us, and Katy's doing a great job of tackling the football, but if you go back and look, those turnovers killed us.
Did you talk to your team about settling down a bit in the locker room?
Well, we just got it. I mean, we're pretty animated at times, and we've got to be almost spiritual. We've got to get excited, but we do have to. The biggest thing is take care of the football.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, Angela, thanks very much. I like what he said there, Shay. We've almost got to get spiritual about this thing in terms of, he said, it's self-inflicted wounds is the way he's describing this. That doesn't feel like Katy's done it to them as much as what they've done to themselves.
Well, you're right, Craig, but when he talks about getting spiritual, I mean, it is devastating when you played so well, you fought your way to a state championship game, and then you really don't give your best effort, and to not get down on yourself. And that's exactly what Coach Joey McGuire is saying, is these guys believe in themselves. You heard that pregame speech that he did. He said, it's not about you, it's about us, and let's get it going. And so in order for them to climb back and claw their way back into this game, it's going to have to be them relying on each other and playing for each other.
I would also think, Shay Walker, that this first series of the second half, while not critical to determining the outcome of the game, I think in order to get Cedar Hill feeling good about themselves again, I think it's more from Longhorn defense to go back to what they were doing in the first quarter, and that is to be able to get a stop.
Well, it really gets down to the chess match, if you will, between the two coaches. And Gary Joseph, you saw the adjustments that the Katy Tiger offense made with that play action pass to Spiller for the touchdown, and then keeping Anderson and Porter both in the game, having them both be lead blockers for each other, kind of in a unique type of a way, and those adjustments are made, and that really kind of negated that Cedar Hill Longhorn push up front that they were getting early on when they were bottling up those running backs. Cedar Hill's got to get back to that.
And for Katy, what about the message Gary Joseph would have for his guys?
Hey, it's what we do, guys. Yeah, you talk about the running game, and we're having success. We've ripped off some big runs. Our defense is playing lights out, creating turnovers, getting the ball on the ground. We don't need to do anything except go out and play another 24 minutes of football.
I've said it all season long. It's Katy being Katy. It's what they do. They find ways, even if you do make your own mistakes. One of the things that makes Gary Joseph Ball Club so formidable is the fact they waste very few opportunities when you do make a mistake.
Well, and we can just go back to the first half. Cedar Hill, first possession, they move the ball downfield, kick a field goal. They come back, they have the 10-0 lead when Denver Daniels picked up the fumble ball and runs it all the way in for the touchdown, and all the momentum was on Cedar Hill's side. And then was it a one-play or a two-play drive where Rodney Anderson busted up the middle for a touchdown to go 10-7. It's just like you said, it's what they do. And it's really, if you think about this, Craig, and you've been involved with high school football forever, and I've been involved for almost forever. This is the Katy Tigers. Mike Johnston passed the torch to Gary Joseph. Gary Joseph is carrying the torch. They spawned off offensive coordinators to head coaching spots all through the city of Houston and all around. Same with defensive coordinators, but the thing that doesn't change is what the Katy Tigers do week in, week out, and it starts from the 10-year-olds all the way up into the high school level.
Ready to go. The chase for 8 is 24 minutes away for Katy. Tony Mullins will put down the knee. It's a touchback, and so the Tigers will start from their own 25-yard line. Nice kickoff by Brooks Ralph. And Katy will go to work offensively. Garrett Dorn has done a good job managing things in the first half. 3 out of 4. He's only attempted 4 passes, but completed 3 for 52 yards, including the 44-yard strike to Sloan Spiller.
Well, in his limited action, after taking over for Kylie Huddleston, completing 63% of his passes. So again, he doesn't throw the ball a lot, but when he does, he's extremely effective.
Porter opens as the tailback, but Anderson from the wingback position takes it upfield to the 33-yard line. So 8 yards on first down. Marcus Green, the senior corner, with the tackle.
Kind of a crafty play call here by the Katy Tigers. You normally don't see this. Inside handoff there to Rodney Anderson, and picks up 7-8 yards on first down. You're used to the Katy Tiger offense just kind of mauling you and coming right at you. That time they use a little bit of misdirection. Anderson picks up some nice yards.
On 2nd and 2, Anderson now the tailback, and the wingback is Porter shifting in motion, but the handoff is to the fullback Williams, and he'll have the first down across the 35 out to the 36. Pick up a 3, move of the chains, and a first down for Katy. We take a look at our State Farm stat of the game to this point in the contest. And for Katy, that State Farm stat is what they've done over those last 2 drives.
Well, you look at the yards, the points, and really what you don't see in there is the number of plays it took them to amass those yards, and it wasn't very many.
1st and 10 Tigers from the 36. Anderson again, the tailback. But Doran is going to go across the middle on a pass to Loganati. And he'll take it. Will take it down to the 44-yard line, 20 yards to Otten before Tadarian Luster could make the tackle.
Well, Kyle Porter was lined up in the inside receiver spot, and you'll see both defenders kind of gravitate towards him, and that's when Doran just threw a dart into Otten, and he picks up a big 1st down.
So it's at the 44-yard line. Anderson again, the tailback. Intentional look from Katy this time. The toss back to Anderson, bounding forward, and looks like Ronnie Anderson is becoming a little bit more difficult to bring down as the game progresses. But Richard Moore and Jonathan Buffin team up on the stop.
You know, the offense in front for Katy is always stellar. They're playing very well tonight. Sims, Jinks, Dalton, and Lister doing a good job up front. And you know what you're going to get. It's the pulling guard, pulling tackle, the old Washington Redskin triple or option play where they're just pulling these guys. And
that counter tray.
Counter tray, thank you. And it just is so well executed by this Katy offense.
Back to the ground again, Anderson.
Got a couple of bruising backs. That always helps.
Looks like Anderson has picked up enough for another 1st down. Xavier Washington on the tackle. From where they're spotting it, it is enough for the 1st down. So Cedar Hill finding themselves back on their heels a little bit now as Katy has started this drive from their own 25. And they've already moved it 41 yards and into Cedar Hill territory. Anderson remains the deep back. It's the wing back quarter in motion. And Doran looking to throw. Downfield, oh my goodness, that's a hit and an incompletion. Sloan Spiller takes a shot from Tamunsi Winfield. Senior corner went after the ball, and boy, there's a collision.
Man, Winfield and just Spiller is right as he's catching the ball. Not a bad throw here by Doran. Take a look at this. Right there. And you know what? I like the way that he did not lower his head. Winfield did a great job of keeping his face mask up, not lowering and burying his head into the receiver. Hit what he was seeing, and Spiller's on the sideline getting a little bit of a breather there. Took a big shot.
Knock the wind out of you. Anderson, the tailback, a dimensional eye look for Katy on 2nd down and 10 to the fullback, Williams. Kyle Williams, a gain of about 3. Richard Moore, the tackle. Now listen to the collision that happens on this pass attempt from Garrett Doran to Sloan Spiller. Popped him pretty hard, and Spiller still gathering himself on the sideline. Here's an important 3rd down coming up for the Cedar Hill defense.
Well, and this was the first time in this drive, Craig, where we saw the Cedar Hill Longhorn defense get down with Miller carrying the ball. He only picks up 2 yards, so it puts him in this 3rd and 8.
In fact, Katy wants to talk about it. So Gary Joseph says, let's discuss our options here on 3rd down and 8 with 8 minutes and 54 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And Gary Joseph want to talk to his guys about it. Meanwhile, Cedar Hill, of course, trying to make its adjustments to get a 3rd down stop. I mentioned that Katy is looking for its 8th state football championship. There's your roster. Salina Bobcats, all those incredible teams under the immortal G.A. Moore, the winningest coach in Texas. Southlake Carroll, Todd Dodge, your old high school teammate, helping to continue the tradition and the dynasty initially established as a 3A program by Bob Ledbetter, and then of course Hal Watson earning a title. Katy sitting at 7, Brownwood, the immortal Gordon Wood was 7, Plano Senior High, the team of really the 70s and 80s there with 7, and Abilene High going all the way back to the great Chuck Mosier teams of the 50s, and most recently Steve Warren getting a state title in 2009. Impressive echelon there of state championship. 3rd down, Doran to the air, and what a catch. Excellent catch made by Tony Mullins. It'll be 1st and goal at the 8. The throw from Doran, the catch for Mullins for 24 yards.
Well, the post corner route, Tony Mullins runs it to perfection. 5'6", 145-pound sophomore, and a speedy guy at that. Take a look at the throw here as well by Doran, but it's after Mullins fakes that post move. Buffin, the defender, not able to catch up to him as he goes out to the flag in a perfectly executed play by Katy. And on 3rd down and 8, they pick up another first down.
What a pinpoint throw. Direct snap back to Anderson. Cedar Hill ready for it. And they'll stop Rodney Anderson. In fact, a loss of a yard back to the 9. Richard Moore, might even say he might have been spying in on Anderson. He just closed the gap on Anderson.
So here you go. Get him in the direct snap. You see him starting off to the left, trying to follow Kyle Miller. Richard Moore having nothing to do with that, and actually they have lost a yard or two on that play.
Loss of a yard, and it's 2nd and goal from the 9. Doran back at quarterback. A conventional eye with Anderson the tailback, Kyle Williams the fullback. Doran looking over the defense. The toss sweep to Rodney Anderson. Went through one hole, but holding on to him was Xavier Washington, and he limited him to a gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 7.
Well, defense for Cedar Hill starting to bow up a little bit.
So 3rd down and goal from the 7. Of course, the proverbial 4-point play coming up here. Cedar Hill trying to make sure Katy gets no more than a field goal out of this. Doran looking to throw. There's Williams open, but can't come up with it. Doran, who's been so pinpoint on his passes, just laid it out a little too far for Williams. He might have stumbled a bit, and it's incomplete, and it's 4th down.
Well, yeah, that's a play Garrett Doran would like to have back. He's rolling out to his right, and he has got Kyle Williams wide open. He just leads him just a hair too much. Not by much, you'll see Williams. He's going to get a hand on the ball. That ball's thrown a little bit more inside. Nothing to keep Kyle Williams from getting into the end zone.
So Manny Mendoza, who is 11 out of 14 this season and has quite the leg. He's kicked a 51-yarder this year. Only needs to negotiate about half that, a 25-yarder, and it's good. Makes it a 14-point advantage. Katy's goal of scoring in the opening drive is realized, but Gary Joseph wanted a touchdown. Cedar Hill holds it to a field goal. Just tastes better. By your local Texas Ford dealers. Enjoy year-end savings during the Dream Big Sales event. Ford is the best in Texas. And by the new Wrangler Premium Performance Advanced Comfort Jeans. Available at Caviters and Caviters.com. A field goal by Manny Mendoza extends the Katy Tiger lead to 24-10, their first possession of the 3rd quarter. And Cedar Hill now will have the football for the first time in the 2nd half. A directional kick will sail out of bounds. Wise move by the Longhorns to let that sail out of bounds. That'll help out field position for Cedar Hill. And we mentioned, Shay, the importance of them trying to get a stop. They didn't get a complete stop, but what they were able to do was limit Katy once they got inside the 10 to a field goal.
Ball be re-kicked from the 35-yard line.
Well, they did, Craig, and you think about really for Cedar Hill, the way that Joey McGuire's looking at it is by holding them to that field goal. It's still a 2-score game, and that's you've got to believe that's where he's comfortable, and at least it's not any worse than that. And he's not even had an opportunity for his offense to have the ball.
Cedar Hill had jumped to a 10-0 lead. Coach McGuire saw Katy do strike back with 24 unanswered. Go up 2 touchdowns.
See DeMarcus Lodge is deep, and Manny Mendoza is not kicking the ball anywhere near DeMarcus Lodge as the Longhorns decided to take the penalty and force the re-kick. Oh, this one will get back to Lodge.
It will, and Lodge will have a chance to return it, but he's going to have to pick it up off the turf. That took a little time away. In fact, Lodge is going to be brought out outside the 20-yard line. That ended up not working out for Cedar Hill. They could have had the ball 30 yards from the kick, could have had it downfield at the 30, and they wound up losing about 10 yards in field position, and there's a flag down.
When you think about the risk reward, and if I'm Joey McGuire, I want DeMarcus Lodge to have a chance to touch the ball.
Well, the officials have picked up the flag, so no penalty, but it is on the 21-yard line. Justin McMillan trying to get it going again for Cedar Hill. Out of the empty set. See DeMarcus Lodge down there in the bottom of your picture. Sure enough, to Lodge on first down. Out to the 26 for a gain of 5 before he was hit pretty hard by Josh Blair. Well, of course, Katy won the state championship last year, and one of the members of that team, a graduate from Katy, is on the Katy sideline with our Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Craig. We got Matt Diamond here on the sidelines. Now plays for the Oklahoma Sooners, but actually brought some of his Sooner teammates here to root his former Katy team on. Are you giving these guys a little pointers, Matt?
Yeah, I'm glad to be back here and see them, and I'm glad they're back here. And hopefully we're able to get, 2 rings for the class 2014.
What is it about this Katy club that seems to always play for a state championship? What is it? Is it the system? It doesn't seem like they produce that many blue chippers every year, but yet they're playing for state titles.
I just think it's we have a lot of work ethic, and I think that I think this is the hardest working group of guys that you'll probably meet, and they go out there and then compete every day, every game, and make it to the state championship and hopefully win it.
What did Coach Joseph do for you?
A lot. Taught me a lot of, a lot about work ethic and perseverance, and just having a winning mentality.
All right, how are workouts going against getting ready for Alabama, huh?
Oh, they're good. Tough team. They'll be good.
All right. Any predictions? Oh, we won't go for there. Coach Stoops may be watching. All right, appreciate it, Craig.
All right, thanks, Jim. Denver Daniels on the carry after the first down. Pass to the 31, and Daniels stopped for no gain by Tanner Ebrecht.
Matt Diamond, Craig, was one of the guys that Joey McGuire talked about last year, saying, hey, we couldn't block the front as well as we wanted to so we could get our run game going. And that was going to be that is one of the things that Coach McGuire said that Cedar Hill would have to do better this year. And Matt Diamond, man, he was a force on that defensive front for the Tigers.
Absolutely. 2nd down and 10 for the Longhorns. Pass outside and a block as it goes to DeMarcus Lodge. He picked up that one block on the quick screen outside, and Lodge picks up 7 yards, brings up 3rd down and 3 for Cedar Hill.
And look at the tackle here by Travis Willock. I believe he's going to separate Lodge from the ball. Stripped it out, and DeMarcus able to get back on top of it. And this defense for Katy, Craig, has just done an amazing job. They're attacking not just the player, but they're attacking the ball as well.
3rd and 3 for the Longhorns. This time, it's Denver Daniels, and he slides down short. Might have had an alley trying to cut back through. Willock was there and forcing the play inside. He slipped and fell, and it brings up 4th down. Now, what do the Longhorns do here? Now 2 touchdowns.
Let's take another look at this, and good pursuit there. This Katy defense is extremely aggressive, playing at a very high level. Colin Wilder was the guy, I believe, that forced it. Joey McGuire decided to go for it here on 4th down.
It's Lodge. Outside. Got the first down and more. And here he goes. Forget about this one. That's what DeMarcus Lodge can do for you. 62 yards to the end zone.
On 4th down and 3. In your own end of the field, trailing by 14 in the state championship game, you roll the dice with the best player on your team. And watch this setup right here as he bounces it outside, open field, good stiff arm there. And then after that, too much speed.
Brooks route for the extra point. Line drive kick is no good. Pulled it to the left, so it leaves it an 8-point deficit. DeMarcus Lodge has carried the ball 2 times for 41 That was before that fumble picked up by Denver Daniels and in for a score, and then this 62-yard touchdown. So 2 carries have accounted for 2 Cedar Hill touchdowns. Interesting that DeMarcus Lodge, outstanding wide receiver, has carried the ball twice, taken the snap from center, and both of his runs have factored in Longhorn touchdowns. The first, remember, he fumbled at around the 42, and it was picked up by Denver Daniels and carried 40 yards in for the first Cedar Hill touchdown. This one, Lodge took it all the way to the end zone himself, 62 yards. Extra point no good, an 8-point lead for Katy, and that kickoff fumble, and it'll be a touchback. Get another look at this, Shea Walker, and how Lodge, once he shakes off a would-be tackler, he took it the rest of the way.
Well, it's Colin Wilder who's going to come up and put pressure. Read the play perfectly, but just DeMarcus Lodge, such an exceptional athlete in long. I mean, he just uses that stiff arm, and he's able to keep Wilder from tackling him short of the first down, and then waltzes into the end zone. Great speed.
So Lodge, who may be searching for his helmet. Give me my helmet back. Teammates may be hiding it from him there. They don't want to do that. They need him on the field.
On the field, you bet.
Kyle Porter on the toss. Here goes Porter. Excellent first down run. He'll take it all the way to the 42-yard line and 17-yard gallop on first down.
Well, when you run this Katy offense, you've got to be prepared to block as a quarterback. Look at Garrett Doran getting a great cut block at the point of attack, and that allows Porter to pick up a first down.
Porter remains the running back. The fullback is Kyle Williams.
Well, look how deep Kyle Porter is. He is a healthy 8 yards back there. That is the old traditional eye.
And he'll draw the carry again. Outside and on the move. To the 47-yard line for a pickup of 5. Brought down after the 5-yard gain, and it's 2nd down and 5.
With the advent of all these multiple offenses, Craig, and all the things that we see now at the high school level, spread, you don't see guys lined up 7, 8 yards deep like that old USC tailback used to do.
Well, actually mark him down at the 46 and call it a 4-yard carry, and it's 2nd down and 6. And yeah, subtract 9 yards. He's 9 yards back. He's standing at the 37-yard line. Is Porter 9 yards deep, and it goes to the fullback Williams. Surges forward. Look at that push from the offensive front to midfield, and that's where he'll be marked. A carry of 4 yards for the sophomore fullback Williams, Aaron Crathers and Davion Dillard.
Now I always look at a play like that and call it a scrum, because that's where you feel like where you get the shoulders in on each other, and it's just a pushing match.
Almost like an old Yale flying wedge from the turn of the 20th century.
See who can gather the most leverage. And now Cedar Hill. Cedar and Lester running off the field. Not sure they got the right. Yeah, they're not in sync.
3rd down and 2. They're set now, but Porter, and he is stopped short by Dillard. It'll bring up 4th and 1. I'd rather doubt that Gary Joseph would punt it. I think they'll go for it anyway on 4th down and a yard.
Well, Davion Dillard did a great job of coming up and locating Porter as he tries to cut it. He goes right for the legs, goes low, and is able to bring him down short of that first down. And the Cedar Hill Longhorn fan base on their feet.
Trying to urge the Horns onto a stop here on 4th and 1 for Katy. Doran to take the snap. Outside direct snap going to Anderson, and he'll go down. The lateral pursuit of the Cedar Hill defense led by Richard Moore, Davion Dillard, and Roy Epting drop Rodney Anderson for a loss of 3, and the ball goes over to Cedar Hill.
They keep going. Look at the number of off-color jerseys that are swarming to the ball. Rodney Anderson bounces it out to the right. It looks like he's going to go somewhere and ends up going nowhere. Actually loses a couple of yards. Longhorn defense definitely up for the task. 2 minutes left, Craig, in the 3rd quarter, and an 8-point lead by the Katy Tigers.
From the Katy 48, Justin McMillan back in at quarterback. McMillan, look at the throw. Pressure coming. Oh, my goodness, wide open. Larry Hill, but that's the pressure that the Katy defense brings to you, and McMillan had him wide open, but because he was forced into the hurried throw, and he knows he let one get away there.
Oh, he did. He got flushed from the pocket, and as he rolls to his left, it's Tim Wilkerson, number 95, that forces him out, and he's not able to plant the feet because he's got Blomstrom bearing right down on him, and he forces the errant throw.
Second down and 10. Motion is Devin Murdoch. Hand off this time, and swinging outside is Ware. Bounced off one tackle, but only able to gain a couple to the 46 before Patty Fisher makes the tackle.
You got to be impressed also on that play with Travis Willock as he comes up, and you're going to hear the hit from that safety spot. He read that perfectly. Take a listen.
Now third down, and a long 8 needed for the first.
Bottom of your screen, DeMarcus Lodge.
Cedric Ware, the running back, and it is Ware. And the Katy defense brings him down short of the first down. Colin Wilder, Jake Blomstrom, gain of close to 5, and it's fourth down.
Well, you see these Katy defenders, Craig, and they're not shy about putting their head in front of the running back. He's coming downhill, running hard, low shoulders, and it's fourth down again, 4th and 5.
See Gary Joseph pointing direction about who they need to pick up.
Well, McMillan behind center, it's Lodge in motion.
And McMillan to throw. Ball tipped and intercepted at the 34-yard line by Travis Willock.
Well, heads up play by Willock on the tip drill. That play was very well defended by the Katy Tigers. Previous fourth down, we've seen DeMarcus Lodge taking the direct snap. This time it is Justin McMillan. He tries to get it out to Devin Murdoch. The tip drill, and how about a sophomore? 5'10", 160 pounds. Make sure he cradles the ball correctly. Turns the ball over.
And another sophomore, 5'8", 175-pounder Giovanni Stewart, who's already had one gigantic defensive play with that fumble return for a touchdown. Coming in on the hit. Back to the ground. Oh, wow. Xavier Washington taking matters into his own hands. Matters being Roddy Anderson. It's only a 1-yard gain.
Yeah, and you won't see that
loss
very
of a
often.
yard, excuse me, yes.
You'll see a defender take Roddy Anderson down one-on-one. Xavier Washington did a great job there.
Well, Katy will allow the third quarter clock to expire. We have 1 quarter of high school football left in 2013 in the state of Texas. 1 quarter to decide the final state championship. It's Katy leading Cedar Hill 24-16. Fans, Texas State Farm agents want to get you to a better state. Text UIL to 45384 for your chance to win $250 for you and your school. State Farm, proud presenting sponsor of the UIL State Championships. We begin the fourth quarter from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, the final high school football game of the year, the 5A Division II State Championship of Texas. Craig Way, Shea Walker, Angela Heyman, Jim Knox, and our Fox Sports Southwest crew. It's Katy up 24-16. The Tigers with a second down and 11, and Rodney Anderson finding the sledding difficult. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, maybe was able to bounce it forward for a half-yard, but Roy Epting, senior strong safety, said no more than that.
Well, I tell you what, Epting came up like a laser as Rodney Anderson was trying to cut back to the right. Craig, everything got bogged up in on the left-hand side, excuse me, and he breaks it back to his right, and Epting, just like a heat-seeking missile, comes in and drops him for no gain.
Third down and 10 for Katy. Anderson the deep back, and it's Anderson on the draw. And one man couldn't get him down, but it is short of the first down. As Anderson was taken down at the 40-yard line. Darrell Miller lost his helmet, but not the tackle. Fourth down, and Katy will punt.
Another one of those hits that we're hearing up here in the press box. There's a lot of leather being laid. He watch this stiff arm right there. Nice job. But again, the pursuit from that Cedar Hill team, and they actually knocked the ball loose. Goes out of bounds, but it is stopped short of the first down.
So
now
Devin,
again, DeMarcus Lodge standing what seemingly would be an opportunity for Cedar Hill to get good field position.
Devin McFarland punting for the 4th time. He's averaged 43 yards on 3 kicks. This is his first punt of the second half. Lost the snap and still is able to kick it. It's blocked. That's a loose, live football, and Cedar Hill will have it. To Darian Luster, picks it up. What an odd, unusual twist. And the Longhorns will have 1st and goal. Actually, they'll mark it outside of the 10, but it'll be 1st down for Cedar Hill at the 13-yard line.
Well, there's the muff snap, and then you're going to see the block right here. Just trying to get rid of the ball was McFarland, not able to do so. I tell you what, that is an outstanding heads-up play by Patty Fisher, though, Craig, to trail the play, knowing that something bad happened to keep Luster from getting into the end zone.
So now Cedar Hill with a chance to get close to tying. And they'll load up the backfield with the committee. 3 of the 4 members joining Justin McMillan. It's Larry Hill, Denver Daniels, Cedric Ware, and coming to the left side inside the 10 is Ware, and he lost it. It's loose on the turf, and Cedar Hill got back on it. Boy, the Longhorns have had some trouble holding on to the ball. It does go as a 4-yard gain, and it'll be 2nd down and 6.
Might have lost a couple of yards after the fumble. There are 2 Longhorns on the bottom of the pile.
Ware came up with it.
That's number 42, Patty Fisher, coming off that middle linebacker spot. And again, I am just really impressed with how well this Katy defense is playing and attacking the ball.
Longhorns able to get back on it. 2nd down and 6 from the Katy 9. And again, Hill, Daniels, and Ware joining McMillan in the backfield, and it's Hill this time. And is able to turn it back inside, but only enough for a yard. Jake Blomstrom held on him, as did Tanner Ebrecht, and it is now 3rd down and 5 coming up. You see that? That's going to be a point of concern for Joey McGuire.
Well, there's no doubt that it's a point of concern. It's what he talked about at the halftime interview, is that we can't, you know, the difference in the game is turnovers, and certainly that's right. You cannot play a team that is as disciplined and as hard-nosed as the Katy Tigers and give them that many opportunities to pick up turnovers.
3rd and 5 at the Tiger 8. And that's Lodge taking the snap himself. Katy ready this time. Colin Wilder, an excellent open field tackle for no gain, and it brings up 4th down.
Well, on that 4th down run, when Lodge ran for a touchdown, he was able to put a stiff arm on Colin Wilder. Colin Wilder said, "Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice." I didn't get that right, did I? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And I tell you what, Colin Wilder, that was an outstanding play coming up off that safety spot. It looked like Lodge had some room to run, and he came up with a great open field tackle.
Well, Brooks Ralph will try to salvage 3 with a field goal that would cut the Katy lead to 5. The kick by Ralph, line driver. Boy, it did get in. It knuckled home, but it counts the same, and Cedar Hill is within 5 points at 24-19.
Well, that crossbar is 10 feet, right? That ball was about 10'1". I think it took a coat of paint off.
Close call, but it counts. StateFarm.com to get to a better state. By DQ for the best tasting treats, eats, and drinks in Texas. DQ just tastes better. By your local Ford dealers. Enjoy year-end savings during the Dream Big Sales event. Ford is the best in Texas. And by the new Wrangler Premium Performance Advanced Comfort Jeans. Available at Cavenders and Cavenders.com. Cedar Hill winds up cashing in the bad punt snap to pull to within 5 of Katy. It's 24-19 with 8:28 to go. Still plenty of time on both sides. Brooks Ralph with a kickoff. And this thing will veer left and out of bounds. Well, last year, Shea, Cedar Hill had the lead down the stretch before Katy came up with a strong 4th quarter performance.
Free kick out of bounds on kicking team.
As they pulled away in 135-24, and What about that Katy defense? Let's check in with Jim
Ball
Knox.
we placed
All
on
right,
the
Craig, appreciate it. What a job this Katy defense did. What a heck of a goal line stand. I tell you what, right now, defensive coordinator Kim Ripperberger talking to his defense, and he told them just now, all we need, guys, is 3 more stops, and the state championship is ours. We'll see.
All right, Jim, thanks. Gary Joseph, a long time old defensive coach. Did a great job with that under Mike Johnston. And that rebirth of Katy football really started in the 90s. To the ground to Anderson. And he stumbles forward for 4 yards. Darian Luster helped bring him down. And I'm sure Cedar Hill looking at this as another time where they need another defensive stop here. They chipped away at the lead, now to the point where a touchdown could win it for them if they can get a stop, get a touchdown, and hold on to the lead at that point. The toss to Anderson. Strung out well, and Anderson still was able to turn it outside and get close to the first down. He is close, not quite there, but he's at the 38-yard line. So call it a gain of 5, and it's 3rd and a yard needed.
His battery mate, Kyle Porter, did a great job of sealing off the outside support. He came in and he closed down the linebacker and it just pushed him all the way inside, and that was another thing that helped Anderson clear the corner.
3rd down and 2 for Katy from the 38. Really about a yard and a half needed since it's just across the 38-yard line. Anderson, the tailback. It is Rodney Anderson. He gets the call. It makes sense, and he has the first down to the 41. Buffin, the tackle for Cedar Hill, but Katy moves the chains.
Now you need a couple of yards, and Rodney Anderson is your guy. Obviously, the 6', 200-pound junior, averaging just a scant 9 yards per carry in the 11 games, this being the 11th game that he's played. Missed 5 due to injury, but certainly showing himself well now that he's back in the groove.
From the Tiger 41, Dorn looking to throw now. On the run, nice catch. And into Cedar Hill territory at the 49-yard line. Loganati, nice move. Turned it outside, right to the stick, 10 yards and a first down.
And again, this is what makes this offense for Katy so devastating, is that you do everything right. You've got man coverage out on the end. You're loading up in the box to make sure that you don't get gashed with the power running game. Loganati just runs a simple out route, good protection, and I like the way that they roll Garrett Doran out, and he throws the ball off on the run. Did a good job there, picking up good yards, almost a first down.
Almost, about a half-yard shy. It's 2nd down, less than 1, and so the inside handoff, and the ball was fumbled. Oh my goodness, picked up, and but for a stumble, Kyle Goss would have given Cedar Hill the lead. But it will be Longhorn football at the Katy 36.
Well, Craig, this is the 2nd time where we've seen that inside handoff. This time, it does not work for the Katy Tigers. As Dorn comes back, well, actually, it just gets stripped next to Xavier Washington, and he has just played magnificently all game long.
Kyle Goss was trying to pick it up and run with it, but legs were churning before he had control, and he fell down. However, Cedar Hill with the football in Katy territory, down 5 and just over 7 minutes remaining. Millen will hand the ball to Cedric Ware, and Cedric Ware turning it outside. Ware inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Longhorns.
How about the balance and the speed control of Cedric Ware once he got to the sideline? I mean, it looked like his momentum for everything was going to take him out of bounds, and yet he maintains the poise. Take a look here. He throws a great stiff arm, gets outside that containment, and then he kind of just maintains his balance and continues to go down the sideline.
32 yards, 1st and goal, Cedar Hill at the Katy 4. Ware for a yard. Nothing more than that.
Patty Fisher getting up off the bottom of the pile.
And don't you know, Jay Walker, that the message has to be going out to the Longhorns. Ball security.
Has to. You're absolutely right. They've been close a couple of times. Right now, execute the offense, but ball protection is a must.
2nd and goal for Cedar Hill at the 3-yard line. Pump, the slants, and that ball is incomplete. Boy, that was into some traffic. It was intended for DeMarcus Lodge. It's incomplete, and it's now 3rd down and goal.
Coach McGuire said that the nickname for Justin McMillan, is the whip. Take a look. I mean, he just threads the ball. I'm not sure how he got it through the Katy defenders. Throws the rope just a touch behind DeMarcus Lodge.
3rd and goal for Cedar Hill at the 3 of Katy. This time, McMillan caught for the touchdown. DeMarcus Lodge just got the feet and the football over the goal line, and Cedar Hill has retaken the lead.
I tell you what, you talk about the whip. Justin McMillan put a lot of juice on this ball as he hits DeMarcus Lodge just in front of the pylon. Take a look here. He's going to lose one of his receivers who gets knocked down in the backfield. And then once he's running, starts to give up a little bit of real estate. And how about the body control there by the big wide receiver?
Cedar Hill faking the try for 1. This should be a free play for 2. The pass went in to Mason Rizika. Let's check the call. It looked like one of the Tigers was offsides, in which case the 2-point conversion would stand.
Yeah, Cody Gaisler was 4 yards deep in the Cedar Hill backfield. Now, was he drawn offsides?
Well, that's what the discussion is.
Yeah, that's what the officiating crew is deciding here.
Offsides on the defense. That penalty's declined. Extra point's good.
The 2-pointer's good. And with 6:02 to play in the 5A Division II state championship game, it's now Cedar Hill leading by 3.
Well, you see there, Katy clearly offsides. And just a heads-up play by Tavarius Walker to get the ball out. And you know what? The poise. He hadn't taken a snap tonight. His first snap of the game on the 2-point play. And he has the poise to get it out over the top of the defenders, knowing that he had a free play.
Tavarius Walker in, and it's a 27-24 Cedar Hill lead. Remember, Katy had 24 unanswered after Cedar Hill scored the game's first 10. Now the Longhorns have countered with 17 unanswered and are back in front. What a way to end the 2013 high school football season.
You bet.
And we're only halfway through the final quarter. Ralph with a kickoff. From the 3-yard line. It's fumbled. Picked up, lost again. Loose on the turf. Tony Mullins lost it.
Recovered it and lost it again.
Still unpiling it. Cedar Hill has it. As suddenly as this football game changed in the second quarter, it has flipped here in the last 5 minutes. Aaron Lewis got on the ball for the Longhorns.
Well, it started there when Mullins wasn't able to field it cleanly. I don't think he ever had a good handle on it, Craig. And then he gets hit once his momentum's carrying him forward. He gets hit, ball comes out again, and the Longhorns opportunistically are all over it.
For the Tigers, they know they must get a stop at the worst. Give up only a field goal to leave them a chance to win with a touchdown. Give up a touchdown here, and there might not be enough time for Katy.
Well, they've relied heavily on their defense all game tonight. They really need to stand on them now.
McMillan delay, and he'll keep it himself. That only works for a yard to the 15. Jason Ellis, the tackle. See the time remaining. Less than half of this final quarter remaining. Big comeback by Cedar Hill here in the fourth quarter. Second down and 9. Back to the ground. Outside. Ware inside the 10. Close to a first down. Colin Wilder the tackle. Not quite enough, but it'll bring up third down and short.
Colin Wilder coming off that safety spot. He saved a touchdown for this Katy team. It's Ware broke it through on that left side. If it weren't for the tackle, open field tackle there by Wilder, he goes into the end zone.
Back to Cedric Ware. It'll be a first down. At the 3, first and goal. Wilder saving the touchdown for the moment there. But the key here, Shea, there'll be a reset of the change, but this clock continues to move now.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Christen doing a great job of lead blocking for Ware.
First and goal, Cedar Hill from the 3. Back to Ware. Spinning forward, he's going to lose yardage.
Cody Gessler, you will not see a finer play by a defensive lineman. He fights through the block and he hits Ware in the backfield, spins him around, and as Ware maintains his balance, the rest of that Katy defense comes up with the stop. Take a look here at number 93, getting out there and getting low quickly. Spins him around, and then Patty Fisher comes in and cleans up.
Ball is at the 6. It's second down and goal. Larry Hill, Cedric Ware, and Denver Daniels in the backfield with Justin McMillan. McMillan will hand it to Hill with a block. But a great tackle made by Patty Fisher. Stopped him inside the 5. It'll bring up third down and goal.
What a great, just a touchdown saving tackle by Patty Fisher. And we've seen him do that on that punt block. He came in and saved a touchdown, and he does a great job right here of dragging down Larry Hill.
It's getting to the point now where Cedar Hill or Katy will have to have a stop because 2.5 more minutes have come off this clock. And now Joey McGuire 20 yards onto the field asking for a timeout, and he'll get it.
Play clock was down to 7.
Cedar Hill, first charge time out of the half.
Great time for those guys to make sure they're on the same page here with 3:23 to go in the ball game. Cedar Hill up 3, and you know Joey feels that if they get a touchdown here, they can all but put this thing away, and he wants to make sure they get it into the end zone, not have to settle for a field goal.
Now we have a great game going on right now. Let's talk about what Dr. Charles Brydup talked about and having this single site, this single venue. And if you remember in 2001, you and I were calling the Mesquite San Antonio Taft game at the Rock.
That's right.
And we were wondering what's happening in the rest of the league play. Lufkin and Austin Westlake were playing that night, that same day, and we were trying to figure out what the score was. And back then, there wasn't any texting. We were phone calling. We didn't have the pleasure of having this single-site venue where you see games and matchups like this. You get to see them all.
It's the beauty of having them all under one roof, and a big roof at that. You saw the number there where Cedar Hill rallied back to beat a very brave and a very stubborn Lake Travis ball club. Beat them in the semifinal round. Had to rally back and do that with a couple of fourth-quarter touchdowns. Now, a touchdown here would almost put it away. Katy knows it. They have to have a defensive stop, giving up no more than a field goal. Third and goal. Back to the ground to Ware. Ware to the goal line. And he's across. Cedric Ware has put Katy up by 2 scores. Excuse me, he's put Cedar Hill up by 2 scores with 3:17 to go.
I tell you what, we talk about the committee. We talk about these backs, and you see all 3 in the game at the most important time, and now Cedar Hill looking like they've got an opportunity here, but all 3 backs in. Cedric Ware, 10 touchdowns coming into today's game. has not scored a more important one than that one right there.
Brooks Ralph adds the extra point. Each team has had a run of 24 unanswered points. The difference here is Cedar Hills comes after they first led 10-0 and they were down 24-10. Now 24 unanswered. Cedric Ware into the end zone, and the Longhorns have a 10-point lead.
But as you've been talking, Craig, 3 minutes, 17 seconds left in the game. Now, we've seen this Katy offense be a quick strike offense. You know, certainly they're looking to do that now, but I tell you, just the swing and the ebb and the flow of this game, the emotions, momentum, Big Mo, changing shirts, turnovers in the first half killed Cedar Hill. Turnovers in the second half hurting Katy.
Well, the Cedar Hill sideline is alive and well, and Angela Heyman is down there also.
That's right, Craig. There may not be 54,000 people here anymore, but it is as loud as I've heard it all weekend. And Cedric Ware, he just had that touchdown. Don't forget, he was injured early in the season, missed 3 games, but Coach McGuire told us when he came back he's been a man on fire. He's had 6 100-plus yard rushing games, make it 7 tonight. And Coach McGuire said that if Larry Hill is the Thunder, where is the Lightning? It looks like there's a storm brewing, guys.
Thank you, Angela, and it has arrived. From the 5 is Giovanni Stewart. Almost slipped and fell down, still on his feet, however. But for all of that, he's only able to reach the 19-yard line. So, Katy, a long way to go and a short time to get there. 2 timeouts remaining and down 10 points with 3:06 to play. Mary Joseph's Ball Club winners of 31 straight. Trying to win back-to-back state titles and join Salina and South Lake Carroll as the only schools in Texas high school football history to win 8 state titles. But that's in jeopardy right now. Anderson the tailback. And Dorn to the air. Caught and a flip. Upfield on a hook and ladder. It goes to Rodney Anderson from Loganati, who had it and flipped it to him. That was dangerously close to a forward pass, or as the old terminology used to go, forward lateral. Very close to a second forward pass.
Well, take a look here, and it's again a good throw by Dorn and the flip right there. But you think about this Katy offense, certainly putting a little bit of a scare. They've already got the ball out by midfield on their first play. And with Anderson going out of bounds, it did stop the clock. 2 minutes, 55 left.
At the 47. And this time, trouble and not seeing him from the blind side. Xavier Washington.
Well, that was a play-action pass there, Craig. And Dorn was trying to be a little crafty, a little sneaky. And you take a look right here at the top of your screen.
Never
Xavier
saw him
Washington
coming.
Having nothing doing, man. He runs, and that speed rush, and that's about the 3rd or 4th time that we have seen him get to the quarterback in passing situations.
Makes the clock roll. Loss of 10.
And you still see now, this is the first time that these Cedar Hill safeties are a little bit off the ball.
Doran going deep. Incomplete. Looking for Roddy down the sideline. A flag comes in. Now, if it's a defensive hold, it's one thing. Cedar Hill sideline saying the pass is uncatchable. But if it's holding, it's academic whether it was catchable or not. Here's the call.
Pass interference on the defense, number 1. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Marcus Green called for interference. It's a 15-yard penalty, and here's another look.
Well, on 2nd and 20.
He's got the jersey, no doubt about it.
Yep, 2nd and 20, though they call it pass interference, which is, as you said, it's an important distinction. You go from 2nd and 20 to 1st and 10. And you've got the ball plus side of the field.
A reset of the chains. 1st and 10 from the Cedar Hill 48. Outside of Porter looking for a block. Has one. And it's out of bounds. At the 38-yard line. Errol Miller forces him out, but that's a gain of 10 and another first down.
And you think about this, Greg. If you can take Katy out of their comfort zone, which is running the ball, take a look at how well that Garrett Dorn is executing this offense, throwing the ball. Very effective, getting the ball downfield, getting the pass interference call, finding your receivers, a little hook and ladder play. I mean, you start down inside your own 20, and a couple of plays, you're already on the 36, 37-yard line of your opponent.
Dorn to the air again. Too high. He was trying to go across the middle for Andy Coonrod.
They got a little bit of pressure there. Jonathan Buffin and Xavier Washington back around the quarterback there, and I think that's what forced the errant throw. And these Cedar Hill defenders, for the most part, are going man up on these wide receivers from Katy. And that's what you have to do. You've got to keep the guys in the box. You've got to play good man coverage out on the edges.
Second down. And 10. To the ground to Porter. Some positive yardage, but not enough for a first down, and so the clock runs. Dillard the tackle, down to 1:45 and counting, and Katy must hurry. And now brings up third down and 4. Back to the ground to Anderson, and he's going to be stopped short. Richard Moore makes the tackle. Katy's going to use its second timeout. It brings up fourth down. And
timeout. Katy, their second charge timeout of the half.
Also, Logan Lister,
down,
who was injured a couple of weeks ago in the playoffs, is hurt again.
And Craig, Keontae Jones got up from the bottom of that pile. He didn't necessarily make the play, but he allowed the play to happen for that Longhorn defense. As he went down, there was just a mass of bodies there, and Anderson not able to pick up the first down.
Well, Lister is down. Katy did call the timeout prior to Lister going down to the turf. He is up. And Katy's season right now hanging by a thread. The Tigers must convert on fourth down here. Hunter Bell will take his place. Here's another look.
Yeah, take a look. It's over on the right side of the screen. Just a pile of bodies. That mass of humanity right there. Looks like he got rolled up.
4th and 5 for Katy at the Cedar Hill 33.
Look how deep Rodney Anderson is in that high back spot.
Doran, the throw, but no chance. The blitz coming off from the safety, Jonathan Buffin. A loss of 11, and Cedar Hill is going to win the 5A state championship of Division II.
Xavier Washington and Jonathan Buffin coming on the same angle. Washington to the inside, Buffin to the outside. And how about the play call by defensive coordinator Stephen Limley? Been on the staff with Joey McGuire for about 8 years, and dialing up pressure on fourth down, not content to sit back and try to keep things in front. He's going to make something happen, and that's kind of how the Cedar Hill Longhorns play, is they take it to you.
Absolutely incredible fourth quarter comeback by Cedar Hill.
I'll tell you, it's hard to win a championship. It's hard to win a championship.
And even harder to win multiple titles, and that's what Joey McGuire is going to have. His second coming up. There will be a delay.
Yeah, I did. Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Well, Cedar Hill had many big moments in the game, but our DQ big play of the game, DeMarcus Lodge getting that touchdown catch and barely staying in the end zone.
But Justin McMillan, he was running for his life out to his left side, and it was fortunate for him that he was, because he found his big, tall, rangy receiver in for the touchdown. DQ, play of the game.
McMillan took a knee. Clock is running. Katy could stop it one more time if they wanted. It is second down. The fans from the southwest corner of Dallas County starting to celebrate. McMillan puts down the knee.
That'll do it. Will it do it?
A truly amazing comeback for the Cedar Hill Longhorns. Down 24-10 in the fourth quarter to Katy. And they score 24 fourth quarter points.
Well, you talked about those two 24-point runs, and I tell you what, for Cedar Hill, it looked like they were on the verge of down and out. But hung tough, played for each other, trusted each other, just what Coach McGuire said.
The Cedar Hill Longhorns have won the school's second state championship, coming from behind in the fourth quarter to dethrone and avenge last year's loss to the team that defeated them, the Katy Tigers.
Well, an improbable win for Cedar Hill, Craig. Coming back the way that they did, taking advantage of the breaks that they created in the second half, doing what they had to do to win. And really, if you think about it, remember that they've had 6 fumbles, lost 2.
And found a way. Made some big defensive plays. Also were opportunistic the way Katy was in the first half once the Tigers made some mistakes.
Right. Took advantage of those.
Cashed it in. Managed to get a line drive field goal to pull to within 5 when they were down 8. Then the touchdown that we just saw to DeMarcus Lodge put him in front. And then after the turnover, Cedric Ware in for the score. And it's Cedar Hill capturing the state title.
I tell you what, you talk about excitement, you talk about great games, and again, just the momentum shifts in this game. And again, it had the feeling of the heavyweight fight. 2 great teams going at each other, a couple of mistakes on both sides, but Cedar Hill hanging on.
Well, let's go down to the field. Angela Heyman with what has to be an absolutely jubilant Joey McGuire.
Absolutely, Craig. Coach McGuire, redemption is sweet. The rematch, and you get the victory this time. How does it feel?
I don't have a lot of words. It feels incredible. Really excited for our community. I'm just excited.
I know you are, Coach, and despite the turnovers, you had some miscues. Your guys still got it done. How proud are you of this team?
Well, you know, we came out, you know, we said it at halftime. We were against Temple. It was 28-7, and everything was us. It was all, we were causing the mistakes, and we caused a lot of mistakes in the first half. We came out in the second half. We didn't panic, and we played our butts off.
And, Coach, who's this right here?
My son. This is my son, Garrett McGuire.
It's fun to share with him. Talk to me a little bit about the committee. Your 4 running backs, and, of course, Cedric Ware with that big touchdown to cap it off there at the end.
Well, you know what's funny is last year, 28 beat our tails. And this spring, I said, you know, you kind of remind me of Adam Taylor. I said, why don't you wear number 28? And it was fitting today that 28 took us home.
Absolutely, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thanks very much. And, boy, Joey McGuire, the family thrilled about it. As far as our player of the game goes, they had many different guys who contributed, but the second half for Cedric Ware was very, very powerful.
And you call it Aka Cedric Ware is his full name, and man, did he play big for the Longhorns in the second half. And I tell you, his tough physical runs, and this one's going to get him in for that touchdown that stretched the lead out to 10 points, Craig. And he had to do that on 3rd down. A very physical game for him. Katy defense was definitely a challenge, but I like the way that Ware carried the ball, the power that he had, and just the presence in moving that ball and kind of establishing the run game and getting 124 yards, not too shabby.
Had some big carries along the way as they rallied back, included on the field goal drive as well. Remember, they were down 24-10, got a touchdown, missed the extra point, had to get a stop, did, kicked the field goal after the turnover to cut it to 5, and in a second turnover, gave him the opportunity, actually got a punt back and then moved it downfield for the go-ahead score and then got the late score on the second Katy turnover down the stretch. Very uncharacteristic for Katy to have that happen to them, especially with a 14-point fourth-quarter lead.
Well, and the things that you're talking about, as you say, uncharacteristic. Katy, a very well-disciplined team, but the snap from center to punter, and then eventually the block punt, and then the fumble on the kickoff return, and giving Cedar Hill opportunities and chances. And you got to give the Longhorns credit; they took advantage of it.
So they're readying themselves for the presentation of the UIL Most Valuable Player Awards for the offensive MVP and the defensive MVP. And we'll pick it up with our public address announcement.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the star at midfield, where we're joined by Senator Royce West and Dr. Charles Bryant, Executive Director of the University Interscholastic League, as Nike proudly presents tonight's Most Valuable Players for offensive and defensive players. First up, we recognize our defensive player of the game for the Conference 5A Division II Football Championship, as selected by media joining us here today. We recognize senior defensive lineman from Cedar Hill, number 50, Xavier Washington, as our defensive player of the game.
How about Xavier Washington in the game he had?
Well, he was just incredible off the edge, and when you know you've got a good athlete playing that defensive end spot like he did, lining up in a two-point stance. He's not putting a hand down, and he just had that body lean, that Derek Thomas kind of body lean and that speed off the edge. And when they needed big plays for that defense, he made them.
Xavier Washington, he had a big second half against Lake Travis in the semifinal round that helped lift him. So there's your defensive player. How about the offensive MVP?
Marcus Lodge.
DeMarcus Lodge it is. Caught what proved to be the game-winning touchdown pass, the go-ahead. Had a huge touchdown run that pulled them to within 8. And, of course, had the earlier run, even though he lost the football, went 41 yards downfield before it was scooped up by Denver Daniels and taking the remaining 40 yards.
But he did have a fantastic game as well, and I tell you, very deserving of the Offensive Player Award. And that control of the body, he's not a small guy. And at full speed, breakneck pace, he's catching a pass from Justin McMillan and having to make sure that he stays behind the pylon, because all of his body motion and inertia, he's going forward. All that momentum is carrying him forward, and he kind of jumps up, stops, and gets the toes down just inside the pylon.
Now let's pick up the state championship trophy presentation.
And now for your 5A Division II football state champion, the Longhorns of Cedar Hill High School. Completing the season with a 14-2 record, Coach Joey McGuire and his team have achieved the goal of becoming Texas High School state champion. Coach, please make your way forward and accept your state championship trophy from your superintendent, Dr. Ann Dixon, Executive Director Athletics Gina Farmer, Assistant to the Superintendent Kim Lewis, Principal Tammy Mariani, Cedar Hill ISD, and Cassandra Preston from State Farm. Congratulations on an outstanding season. Let's hear it for Cedar Hill High School. And we congratulate these communities, parents, school officials, and players for outstanding accomplishments this year. The UIL would like to thank you for being a part of this momentous day in Texas high school football history. Your contribution to today's excitement is certainly appreciated. Let's hear it one more time for both of our schools competing in the 5A championship game.
A second state football championship for the Cedar Hill Longhorns. And for head coach Joey McGuire, getting to hoist 2 trophies, the UIL state championship trophy and the AT&T Stadium state championship trophy.
It's picture time, guys.
It's a great time to pose there with the championship medals. A team that lost 2 ball games in their first 4. Lost to the pretty good football team we saw earlier, the Allen Eagles. And then lost to another pretty good football team, the DeSoto Eagles, who lost to Allen in the 5A Division I semifinals.
Coach McGuire as do a lot of the coaches, and almost all the coaches, preach his family, and he's very close to his players, and it shows.
Well, the offense had the big plays when they had to down the stretch, but the defense helped turn the game.
Well, they really
to
did.
Cedar Hill.
And he talked about the difference between last year and this year for his team coming into this game against Katy. He said last year we were beat up a little bit. We were kind of down to our third running back, and we just, you know, we had survived a really tough season with a lot of injuries. That the thing that we have is our health, which is one. But then he said the experience of last year will help us this year. And when they were down, they didn't give up. They kept playing. They kept plugging away, came up with some big plays, and ultimately won the game.
Down 21-10 at the half, down 24-10 in this football game, going into the early stages of the fourth quarter, and they came back at Cedar Hill. They were down 24-10 in the third quarter and got the touchdown to pull it within 8 by the end of the third quarter at 24-16. But a tremendous turnaround in the fourth quarter, a total of 24 unanswered points for the Longhorns after giving up 24 in a row to Katy. That coming after Cedar Hill had jumped to the 10-0 lead. Cedric Ware is a major reason why this game got turned around, and he's down on the field with our Angela Heyman.
Thanks, Craig. Well, Cedric, we nominated you our player of the game. Just tell me what you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling amazing. Glory to God, you know. We played as a team. We brought home the trophy.
And you scored that last rushing touchdown that kind of sealed the deal. Tell me about that play call.
It was a play call I actually wanted. I told Coach to give me the skin. He gave me the skin, and I put it in. I forced it in.
You absolutely did. Obviously, Katy has 2 great running backs, but the committee really came through tonight. How did you guys come together this season, and what did you say to promise each other that you would make it right here?
At first, we started off selfish. I'm not going to lie. All of us started off selfish, but once we got past a couple of games, we came together as a family. We told each other that we was going to pull together as a family. We were going to win state. We told each other we were going to win state.
And how exciting is it to bring this trophy back to Cedar Hill?
This is very exciting. I'm very happy for my coaches, my teammates. Glory to God, like I said, you know, we just happy, man.
Congratulations, Cedric. Enjoy it.
You too.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Angela. Great job by Angela and Jim Knox down on the sidelines throughout the course of the weekend, and so many a big part of the weekend. And, you know, we see this thing wrapping up in another season, another exciting season. I think this is the greatest culmination of state championship games the UIL has ever had. It's the first time all 10 conferences of 11-man have been able to crown their state champions on the same weekend since 3A Division I went to a 60-14 bracket this year. So I think it's the first time or not only is it the first time, I think it's the best culmination of all of this, Shay. And then we get the capper being a great game, a great turnaround here.
But you think about it again, for Cedar Hill, doing what they did to come back and win this game. But I'll also say, and I agree with you, I'm not sure how this can get any bigger and any better, but it certainly feels like it can, because for the last, now this is our 3rd year of doing this. Last 2 years, you know, it feels like you just build to this big crescendo, and you've got just an outstanding game to kind of cap everything off in this state championship, or crowning 10 state champions, all classifications of 11-man, as you said. Just phenomenal.
It is why many, many folks claim this, and I'm certainly not of a mind to disagree with them, that high school football is bigger and better in Texas. Let's take a look back at the weekend.